over the weekend. We have to go back to Friday night, of course. But, it was a football weekend, right? So we're going to talk about this in a lot of detail as this show goes on and what we saw on Friday night. But here's my view. The Eagles got a solid win. Again, we're going to break this all down, and we're going to probably pick out a few sore spots at the quarterback, sometimes erratic play and the lack of a pass rush and the defense looking a bit depleted and tired after the first quarter, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, they had the right stuff to win a game and be 1-0. And this was a game that I originally thought they wouldn't win. I changed my mind on Friday and did pick the Eagles. So 12 wins is still in play. This was a big win for them to go to Brazil and win as a slight favorite and do enough things to get by. It wasn't fantastic, but it was certainly good enough to get by. And I always look at people that would rather complain about the bad things than look at the fact that they won the game. I don't understand that. They won the game. It was game one. They're not going to be perfect. Nobody's going to look perfect in game one, especially the Eagles, who really didn't play together during the preseason. But the fact that they won the game is I feel good about it. Am I supposed to feel bad about this? Bill Colarulo with us, Ray Dunn with us. Bill, am I supposed to feel bad? Because a lot of people seem to feel bad.
No, I'm right there with you, man. This is what you expect. It's a week one game. It's an international game. The field was a mess. You're going to get a lot of sloppy play, and that's exactly what you got on both sides of the football. And we're going to break it down. There's some things you want to see the Eagles improve, but 1-0, man. 1-0 against a really good opponent in the Green Bay Packers, and there was a lot to like about it. So I'm right with you, man. I'm not complaining today.
Yeah. Listen, we're looking at two new coordinators, right? And the one coordinator showed me at least that he's invested in changing it up because they had a lot of pre-snap movement. In fact, they had like 60%, I believe, on pre-snap movement. And last year they had they averaged like 23%. So that I thought was pretty innovative. And then they've got a stud running back. And it's funny to me how the Eagle management all these years has shirked the importance of both linebackers and running back in the field. Defensively was their linebacker. Zach Ball was all over the place in that game. And their best player on offense was the guy that they paid high money to be a featured back. And they didn't do let's bring in this guy. We'll bring in Boston Scott. We'll bring in Kenny Gainwell. We'll do this. We'll do that. They go, this is my guy. And when he's on the field, we're going to give him the football. We're going to keep him on the field. So I thought that was really good progress.
Man, you mentioned Zach Baun. I have been worried about the linebacker position, mainly because Zach Baun hasn't played a lot of off-ball linebacker. He was your best player on defense on Friday night. I am so blown away with what I saw. Look, it's only one game. You don't want to overreact, good or bad. But Zach Baun can play, man. 15 tackles, 2 sacks, was one of your best players in pass coverage. That interception, Reed Blankenship gets a lot of the credit. That's a great play by Zach Baun, getting the depth, forcing Jordan Love to have to throw it over the linebacker and allows Reed Blankenship to break on the ball and get that interception. I said this on Twitter. There's no way Howie Roseman was the one who found Zach Baun to play off-ball linebacker. There's no way in the history of what we've seen from Howie Roseman that he was able to watch Zach Baun's tape in New Orleans and say, you know what? Mainly an edge rusher, but I'm going to convert this guy to linebacker. I'm giving all that credit to Vic Fangio for finding this guy because he's barely played the position. And he was all over the field, Mike.
Yeah, it's a pretty good acquisition, and we'll get. I'm telling you, we'll get into all the elements of this game. But let me move on to the other big story during the football weekend, and of course, it was the much hyped debut of Tom Brady as an analyst. Now, that seems weird to me that there was that much emphasis on it, but I guess if you pay the guy that kind of money, people are going to pay attention. And here's the thing about what I know about Tom Brady. Most people don't like him. Most people don't like him. He brings out a bad feeling in most everybody except those who followed the New England Patriots or the Tampa Bay Bucks all these years. He rubs people kind of strange. So I think people were looking to knock him down in his first game. And sure enough, they did. If you see the reaction on social media, they couldn't wait to criticize Tom Brady. You know what? Because Tom Brady isn't them. Like, Tom Brady's this good-looking guy, the best quarterback ever. He married a Brazilian supermodel. He does Uggs commercials. He's like untouchable, right? And people naturally have a bad feeling about God. He's too good for most people. Am I right?
Yeah, it's already happened in our YouTube chat. Jamal Hutchinson. Fox wasted their money on Brady. He stinks.
He stinks. I mean, they couldn't wait.
They can't wait.
First of all, I don't think he was bad. Right?
I don't think he was either.
I mean, he's going to take a while to get used to the pace and with the natural free flow and when to talk and when not to talk. That's all going to come. It's like a lawyer. When you got to law school, you have no idea to practice law. You just start practicing it, right? So Tom Brady can do all the auditions he wants. And you throw him in the live booth, it's going to take a while to feel comfortable. But I thought he was fine. There was nothing that I said, wow, that was cringeworthy. I watched a college football game that was cringeworthy. They throw Colt McCoy dunk.
Yeah, he was bad.
He was horribly uncomfortable in that booth. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah, the difference, though, and this is why you're going to get people hating on Brady, is they're not showing you a pregame video of Colt McCoy showing up to the stadium for his first color analyst. They literally had promos of Brady walking in like he was going to play the game. But I'm with you. Look, he was a rookie doing it. It's the first time he's ever done it. In the first half, it almost seemed like he didn't know when he should speak. There were some awkward silences where who was doing the play-by-play? Burkholder?
Yes. No. Burkhardt.
Burkhardt, that's right.
Yeah.
Burkhardt.
Rick Burkholder. He's the trainer.
He's the trainer for the Eagles who went to Kansas City with Andy. But it seemed like he was trying to set him up, and Brady wasn't taking the cue, and there would be some awkward silences. But I'm sure he's going to get better.
All right. So there's a couple things on social media. I have to laugh because people have nothing better to do. And it's just fueled by the fact that they don't like Tom Brady. So here's a guy. Maybe somebody should have listened to Tom Brady actually say words before dropping $300 million on him. Who cares what they dropped on? What do you care? Is that coming out of your pocket? Here's another guy. So far, I'm being honest. It's been a tough watch. I know it's his first game, so I'm giving him his grace, but definitely probably should have done more training for this. There's quite a bit of dead air, and he looks very uncomfortable. Come on, man. What are we talking about here?
He'll get there.
All right. Phillies.
Oh, man, do we have to bring us down today?
Let me just say this. I do not understand how a successful organization cannot have anybody either on their team or in their system, their entire system, that can't give 5 innings worth of decent pitching as a fifth starter. I do not understand it. I don't get it. You throw a guy into the Wolves, you had no idea how he's going to respond, and that's how he responded. He gave up 9 runs on 8 hits, including a couple home runs. A guy who does that is not a major league pitcher. Just does not belong anywhere near the major leagues.
Are you trying to get me worked up today?
I'm trying to, but I don't understand. Listen, look, and the overall conclusion to this probably does not matter that they don't have a fifth starter. All they have to do is get through the rest of the year. I know Allard's coming up. He'll probably give him a couple starts, whatever it is. I just don't understand the level of desperation that they don't have one guy in their freaking system that could come up and throw a decent game for 5 innings.
I'm trying to feel good today. The Eagles are 1-0, and it's going to bring us back to the argument you and I have been having for a month now, that I wanted to see them do something. You're acknowledging they don't have a single damn pitcher that can come out as a fifth starter and give you anything at all. And that's the only thing I wish Dombrowski would have done at the deadline. And I know you're saying there was nobody available. There was certainly someone available better than what you got. But I'm going to try to be positive today.
Well, I just had to bring it up. This is not really a baseball conversational day. It's more of a football conversational day. But Rob Thompson after the game goes, "Oh, he's got good stuff." He doesn't have any good stuff. He doesn't have stuff. But you give up 9 hits and 8 runs, you don't have stuff. Don't insult me.
I'll tell you what, though. Big favorites tonight are fighting Phils with Sanchez on the mound. So hopefully they bounce back, because that was rough 2 days.
Bounce back. They're still going to win a division. I just don't. There's certain things that I don't understand, and that is one of them. Like, I don't get that. You're playing an inferior team and you get raked like that? That's the best you have that can come up and throw a game, and you're asking a guy to go 4 or 5 innings?
So, again, not having this conversation. I just want your answer on it. Would you have liked to have seen Dombrowski bring in a fifth starter? Or are you still holding pat?
No, I don't need a fifth starter. I'm just wondering why they wouldn't have him. Like, I'm asking for a temp. I'm asking for. I'm going to some work services place to get a temp who work 1 day a week for me. For crying, that's all I'm asking.
I don't have the energy for this argument today. We got too much Eagles talk.
You're all like, they should have acquired it. Now they get their prospects intact. They're going to be fine. Relax.
Eagles are 1-0. That's what I'm sticking with today.
We're going to talk about it. 610-632-0975. We'll get into the who's, what, and where of this game right after this on the Mike Missanelli Show.
Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah. There was a. Oh, no, this isn't Fleetwood. Oh, it sounded like it would be a Fleetwood song. Who is this?
Psychos by Jenny Lewis.
Oh, it's Jenny Lewis. Yeah, it sounded like Stevie Nicks was going to come in at any minute. Somebody had a poll on Twitter that I saw. Janis Joplin or Stevie Nicks?
Who you going with?
It's not even close.
Stevie Nicks?
No.
I know. I actually saw. I think
Janis Joplin had the pipes of crazy pipes. And Stevie Nicks is all right. She's a good singer, but
yeah, she's not Janis Joplin. I actually think I saw you tweet. That was about a week ago.
Yeah,
I remember.
I couldn't believe that people would do it. They have more of a frame of reference for Stevie Nicks. That's why. Plus, she's better looking than Janis Joplin. So that's how people voted. All right, so our Philadelphia Eagles. Bill, I'm going to go over some things that I saw, and then I'll turn it over to you on your evaluation of the game. Again, the quarterback. All right, let's look at his numbers. 278, got sacked twice, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. He had a rating, it's 80.3, a mediocre rating. He made 2 terrible decisions. And when I look at Jalen Hurts, I go, okay, now enough. You're now seasoned enough not to make a throw, the first throw that you made, and certainly not to throw across your body. Those are things that should never happen, and they happened. Now, again, he did enough towards the end of the game. He made a couple really good throws towards the end of the game that's to seal this victory. But I didn't come away from it saying, well, I'm really comfortable with Jalen Hurts. I'm still on a flat line with him, as I am with Sirianni. He's going to have to show me more. So there's that. We'll talk about this in a second. Now, the lack of a pass rush bugged me a little bit. Lack of a pass rush. The newly acquired guy was hardly on the field and looked invisible half the time. So that did not please me at all. The defense, after the first period, in the first quarter of that game, they were feisty. They hit, they were making plays, and then all of a sudden it looked like they got tired. And but in the end, they had the right stuff. This is they made a stop. The Packers were driving for a go-ahead touchdown. They did make that stop there. They had to settle them for a field goal there. So all that was good. The beginning and the end was pretty good. But other than that, there are some flaws that we have to look at. What did you see?
Yeah, I'm with you on some of it. Obviously, like I said, a sloppy game. You look at Jalen Hurts, the decision-making has to be better. Those 2 interceptions, which really, let's be honest, he could have probably thrown 4 interceptions. You can't make that play. When you're rolling to your right and you're in the red zone, you can't then throw back across your body into the middle of the field. That's high school stuff, man. They teach that stuff in high school. You can't do that. But I will say, when it mattered most, Jalen Hurts showed up in a big way. That drive at the end of the game, when you get the ball back, 31-29, you're up by 2, 7 minutes, 52 seconds left, and you take your team on a 16-play, 7.5-minute drive, that was impressive. Now, the one major positive to Jalen Hurts' game, what have we been asking all summer long? How are they going to handle the blitz? Jalen Hurts is now calling the blitz protections. We knew that teams are going to blitz him until he proves he can beat it. Against the blitz, on Friday. I keep saying yesterday. Against the blitz on Friday, Jalen Hurts, 6 of 8 for 91 yards and a touchdown with a 75% completion rate. That's a positive, Mike. That is certainly a positive. Now, you talk about the defense. Where they won this game was in the red zone. They held the Green Bay Packers to 1 of 4 in the red zone. 0 for 2. In the first quarter after the turnover.
Yeah, they got twice in the first 3 possessions they were in the red zone. Twice they had to settle for field goals. And I'm looking at the game, well, Green Bay is going to really rue that. And as it turned out, they did. They just didn't take advantage of it. So I'll credit the defense there. But you see here, the problem with Hurts is you can't look at more of the positives when he was coming off a season where he turned the ball over considerably. And so in the first game, he didn't learn enough not to make stupid throws. That's progression and it's maturity and it's growth, and that's the thing that bothered me. And besides that, he didn't look any faster than he did last year. And I was thinking that, okay, he looked a little sprier in training camp, and it looks like he's got a little giddy up, but he didn't look like it in this game. So They're the three things I look at. More of the foolish decision. He's got to be better than that at this point. You can't make that's fundamental stuff.
I agree with you. And last year, the main issue was turnovers. And I agree, he needs to be better. Decision-making needs to be better. But you watch the games all weekend long. This is what happens in week one. Look, Jordan Love, that a lot of people, including our own Ray Dunn, were ready to anoint as the next best thing in the NFL, he made a lot of mistakes in that game on Friday night. He made a lot of bad throws, including one over the middle from his own end zone that resulted in a Reed
My
Blankenship
concern is
interception.
not Jordan Love here. I don't give a flip what Jordan Love does. This is the guy that I need to carry this team home. I can't look at it look at the rest of the league. I'm making mistakes. I can't have my guy make a mistake.
I'm with you. What I'm saying is this is what you get in week one. Now, if this continues, look, the guy's learning a new offense. He's calling blitz protections. Yes, he needs to be better.
Right.
Decision-making wasn't great, but it's week one.
Bill, this is fundamental. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with having a new offensive coordinator. It's a fundamental. I can't make that throw, which should be cemented in your brain. It has nothing to do with anything outside of that. It's a per head.
And I'm with you.
You're not with me.
I'm with
Ray,
you.
Is he with me?
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm with you, but I'm saying but because it is week one. The guy did make some bad decisions. But at the end of the day, he did throw for 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, brought the team on that nice drive. I'm willing to take it. If this continues, there's a problem.
You're willing to take it. So the 2 turnovers that he – same thing he did last year, by the way. First game, he does that again, and that doesn't bother you.
It does bother me. But I'm trying to put it into perspective. It's week one.
Week one.
It's week
game one. They're in Brazil. They don't speak the language.
Yeah, it was all about
the crowd that was cheering. So, in other words, throwing the ball in the middle of the field with 3 guys there, we're all influenced by what?
It was a terrible
Game
decision.
one?
It was a terrible decision. If it continues, then I'm going to freak out about it. But right now, I'm willing to say, give him the benefit of the doubt. There was a lot more good than bad in this game when you look at Jalen Hurts. And to your point about him looking a little bit slower, I also want to see how that field affected that. Because they were sliding all over the place. And you know they're in his ear. You know the Eagles are in Jalen Hurts' ear. Protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. So we'll see how it all goes. But at the end,
all right.
20 of 34, 278, I'll take it.
They got 422 total yards. They got 200 yards out of their wide receivers, including a 67 long. They got 4 catches out of the tight end. That's all good. They even got a catch out of Grant Calcaterra. They did not get a catch out of either Jahan Watson or Johnny Wilson, so that's fine. Whatever. And Kenny Gainwell, who probably would have gotten 10 carries last year, got 1 because the new offensive coordinator doesn't play like that. He goes, I got Saquon Barkley. I'm going to have him on the bench. I'm going to have Kenny Gainwell in the game? Nah.
Kenny G did have that one nice catch and run, though. Broke a tackle, picked up the first down. That's all you need. Make 1 play a game from Kenny G, and I'll take it. Look, and great balance. You talk about balance with this offensive coordinator. Last year, we had to put a sign outside of the Novacare complex run the ball. They ran the ball 38 times. They threw it 34.
And offensive motion in 48 of their 73 plays. How about that? All right, we'll take some calls. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Back after this. Fanatic. It's like a football Monday here. We have to wait a couple days because we had processed Friday night's game, which seemed like forever ago. But we did watch some football yesterday. Very uninspiring football on TV yesterday. It's very uninspiring. Nothing really excited me yesterday.
Last night's game was good. The Rams Lions.
Last night was pretty exciting. But I mean, I like the day games. You know, I just sit around and maybe make a pot of Sunday gravy. You know, get that scent in my nose. I'm laying down there, watch football.
Yeah, we did the tomato pie. I was ready too, relaxing.
Yeah, but the games weren't good.
The 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock games were terrible.
Waited for Brady, the whole bit.
Yeah, we waited to see the Cowboys and the Browns, and my God, Cleveland is terrible.
They really are. I don't know how I missed the boat on that. It was one of my selections of the week because the line had flipped and made the Cleveland Browns a favorite in that game. So I looked at it and go, there must be something up with this game. But their quarterback is horrendous. What has happened to that guy? All right, I get it. He wasn't protected very well. Their running game doesn't balance anything. But he was missing guys by 10 feet. He wasn't even in the area with his throws.
He's completely lost it. It's incredible. He's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
And when he was in Houston coming out of Clemson, you thought this guy was going to be an absolute stud. And look at the trade.
He was for a while. And then,
The trade, the money, the Cleveland Browns, they've set their franchise back years with that move.
The massage parlor casualty.
I saw somebody on Twitter say Deshaun Watson died on the massage table. This is not him.
He did. 10 o'clock hour is brought to us by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Just call this number. It's 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. All right, let's hear what the people have to say. I want you to give your review of your Philadelphia Eagles after Game 1. And again, it's only Game 1. They're ahead of my curve because I thought they were going to lose this game, even though I did on Friday pick them. Somehow it got to me where, they'll probably win this game. And they did. And they won it because they're better than the Packers at this particular time, I think. But we have some concerns. This pass rush thing, I didn't see it. Not see enough heat on the quarterback.
Yeah, look, Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith, I've told you before I have concerns about them. But just like I'm not overreacting to 1 week with Jalen Hurts, I'm certainly not going to overreact to the pass rush because of that field. Bryce Huff, the way he wins on pass rush is he's so quick off the line of scrimmage. You can't really judge him by what you saw with how sloppy that field was. Now, it's not ideal that he only played 30 snaps, and Brandon Graham actually played 2 more than Bryce Huff. Nolan Smith even played 1 more snap than Bryce Huff. But I'm not going to really judge Bryce Huff until I see him on a normal playing surface.
The NFL checked out that field. By all measures, it was going to be fine. I don't know whether dampness settled in on it or what, but it's a soccer field. It would have a pretty tight pitch on it, no?
It was a disaster, man. I mean, you saw it. Saquon Barkley's first carry.
You're going to wear the 2-inch cleats.
So I don't know. I read somewhere that they did look into the field, but then the weather dropped. It got a little bit mist to be on the field.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it was a disaster.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of the crowd reaction?
They were okay.
I don't think they knew what was up.
Yeah, they were okay. It didn't really seem to be a factor negatively or positively, though.
Thought I'd see a few more crazy Eagle fans. The camera's focused on them.
But we got to talk about something else, Mike.
What do you want to talk about?
I want you to give your flowers to my man Nick Sirianni. Because hell yeah is right. Because Nick Sirianni is now 4-0 in season openers. And I think he outcoached Matt LaFleur yesterday or Friday. Keep saying yesterday on Friday night. First of all, I've said this to you many times. Nick Sirianni is always good with game day decisions and clock management. At the end of the first half on Friday night, Nick Sirianni had all 3 of his timeouts left. Matt LaFleur had none. What do the Philadelphia Eagles do? They go on that drive and they get points right before the half. Good teams score points before the half. He was appropriately aggressive, knowing when to go for it on 4th down. And even at the end of the game, the clock management, being able to make sure they take all that time off the clock before giving the ball back to Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. Give your flowers to my man Nick Sirianni. A well-coached game by our CEO head coach. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, Ray.
Yeah. Seriously?
You don't think Sirianni was a good game day coach on Friday
He
night?
was fine. He was fine. This stat that he's undefeated in the first games. Who cares? What kind of a stat is that? Who cares? What
4-0, man.
What do you mean?
When they have
were they favored in every one of those games?
probably
What
favored all those games.
kind of great achievement is that they win the first 4 games of the year?
You rather than be 0-4 in opening games?
No, but what kind of an achievement? It's not that great an achievement. You just won 4 games at the first game. What does that mean?
Sirianni coached a good game on
Does
Friday
that mean
night.
more than losing 7 of your last 8?
Look, babe, I'm turning the page.
Oh, you're turning the
I'm looking
page,
forward.
Listen, I'm the wait and see guy. At no time did I ever think I was going to come in here today and laud Nick Sirianni's performance.
You didn't think he made?
Only you would be the guy that would come in here and laud his performance.
You don't think he made all the right decisions?
Anybody on social media, I have not heard one reaction from anybody since that game that, whoa, what a well-coached game from Nick Sirianni. Now, maybe he did coach an okay game. I just didn't. Nobody would even think of that. Like, why would it come into your head? Because you're programmed to love this guy.
Because I have defended him, and I'm trying to show people that Nick Sirianni, as a CEO-type coach, works because he's very good on game days. He's good at managing the clock. He's good at making the right decisions. He's good at knowing when to go for it on 4th down and when to not. And he didn't make any mistakes. You did not lose that game because of Sirianni mistakes as a head coach.
Listen, all right.
He outcoached Matt LaFleur. Your boy, Matt LaFleur.
Whatever. All right. That's the way. That's the hill you want to be on.
He's also now 2-0 against LaFleur.
That's fine, might be. He's 2-0 against LaFleur, right? He's won his first 4 games of the season, 1-0, 4 straight years. What do you think of that, Ray? Are you overwhelmed by that?
I tweeted at Bill. I'm giving him one thing. I like the 4th down call, going for it on 4th and 3. That's what I gave Bill out of that game for Dick Sirianni.
All right, good decision. I mean, a lot of coaches would have done that. I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know if it was anything special.
Now you're just sounding like a hater. Now you're sounding like a hater. Give the guy credit.
All right, they won the game.
All right, what about at the end of the first half? LaFleur, 0 timeouts. The Eagles have all 3.
That's the LaFleur's problem. I don't have any skin in that game. Like, I'm not a guy who compares it like, well, look at LaFleur. He didn't have any timeouts. Then look at Sirianni. He has timeouts. That means Sirianni's a better coach than LaFleur. I don't think that way.
I'm not saying that.
Whatever LaFleur did, that's his problem, and that's Green Bay fans' problem.
Okay.
My focus is on this team.
All right, so then focus on this team. Good teams score points before half. Good teams score points before half, and the Philadelphia Eagles made sure they did that because of good clock management by your head coach.
All right, good clock management. Yeah, good clock management. Okay.
I will say, though, the part of this that goes back to Jalen Hurts, poor management on his part for taking that sack.
Correct.
He threatened that entire thing. We're dishing out something from that drive.
Yeah. All right, Sirianni got to win. Good for him. Again, this is a process for me on how this guy will be as a coach this year, and he's off to a good start. Is that good enough for you?
I'll take it, Mike. From you, being a Sirianni hater, I'll take it.
All right, let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. What's up, Greg?
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Good morning, Greg.
Hey, a winner's a win. Obviously, Hurts has some things to work on, but that should be pretty evident on tape during practice this week. He broke some cardinal rules, throwing it over the middle and late, and that should be a teachable moment. I was most happy with Saquon Barkley. I watched him come up through our local high school system, and then obviously at Penn State, and I've never seen a guy break so many ankles since Barry Sanders. I'm not sure I'm comparing them necessarily, but he's all you could hope for, and really saved their bacon on Friday.
Yeah, listen, he does a lot of things. He's a very skilled player, and the only question was, would he be able to get back to where he was before that injury? Last year, he took some strides, but he wasn't, overly back. But the fact that they kept him on the field that long tells me that they're convinced that they're better off with him on the football field, that they're not going to do this running back by committee thing anymore. They got a bell cow guy, and so he's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one move up the middle where, he set that linebacker up and then jump cut to the right.
He's a great jump cutter. I think he's always been able to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. It's good to see. I was hoping I always felt good, giving him props. And
there's a conflict here, Greg, because most of the people in this area are Penn State haters. So I know they have to swallow like bad tasting medicine here with Saquon. That's what it is. The Penn Stater, they don't like to give Penn Staters credit.
That's a shame.
It's a shame. So many people. Oh my God, when they were getting tested by Bowling Green on Saturday. Oh, there were so many people that wanted them to lose the game. Oh, Penn State, they overrated. Franklin needs to be fired.
The same.
I go, they're not going to lose this game. Relax, all right? They're not going to lose the game. Bowling Green is probably a little better than everybody thought. They played them tough, but they weren't going to lose the game. Meanwhile, in South Bend, Indiana, Can we hear a fight song, Ray? Can we hear the fight song?
Rudy!
They lose the...
Wait, here's what I don't get, though.
Here we go.
There it is. Here's what I don't get with you, though. You just call out all the people who hate on Penn State, and now you're hysterical because Notre Dame lost.
Guess what? Penn State won. That team didn't. Their whole season's down the toilet. And they lost to a team in the same conference.
Look, I don't like either team. I'm not a Penn State guy. I'm not a Notre Dame guy. But you're acting towards Notre Dame the exact way you don't like the way people act towards Penn State.
There's a difference here. All these complaints about Penn State, all this glee, was short-lived. Penn State wound up winning the game by 10. This team gets nipped on a blocked field goal at the end that wouldn't have gone through anyway. The Irish lose at home.
By a team they paid over $1 million to come play.
And Bowling Green may win that MAC. They're that good. Northern Illinois is not.
Oh, that was bad.
All right. Oh, the fight song warms my heart.
That was bad. Let's talk about Jalen real quick, too, though, Mike, because one of the things that you brought up earlier was he didn't look as fast. Yeah. And I know there's been a lot of people, I saw it on Twitter, saying get rid of the RPO. Get rid of the RPO. Because Jalen was making a lot of the wrong decisions about whether or not to give the ball to Saquon or to pull it. Mm-hmm. However, even though he only averaged 2.5 yards a carry, Jalen, he had 13 carries for 33 yards. I've given you this stat before, and it's got even better now. When Jalen Hurts has more than 10 carries, the Eagles are now 17-4. They added another win on Friday night. 16 of his 20 losses are when he gets 10 or less carries. So I don't care that he only picked up 2.5 yards. The fact that you force teams to have to game plan for the RPO and Jalen Hurts' run, I want that to continue. I don't care if it's effective on the stat sheet. It's effective because you're forcing teams to prepare for it.
Also forcing teams to hit them.
Well, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story.
That's a story I don't want played out. 13 carries is too many.
He's got to protect himself. He protected himself pretty well in that game. But that's why I think it goes to you saying he doesn't look as fast. I think he's making sure he protects himself.
Okay.
They're most effective when Jalen Hurts runs the ball. And your man Saquon.
I'm talking about like sliding out of the pocket fast. When it's broken down and when you get a scramble yard. That's what I'm talking about. He didn't look that fast on that.
Yeah, and he still did seem like maybe he was exiting the pocket a little too quickly, which, again, I'm chalking up to week one. If it continues, I was saying I wanted to be patient with him through the bye week. So you got 4 games before the bye week, and I'm going to continue to be patient. If he's starting to make these mistakes in week 6, week 7, then I'll raise concerns.
All right. Let's get Mike and Redding in here. What's up, Mike? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
What's going on, Mike? How we doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Look, I'm going to be quick about the Eagles. The Cavs, if they don't go to the Super Bowl and win it. with this offensive design and the progression of the defense, then that'll be disappointment.
Wow, really? You think they should go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I saw what I saw last night. I saw more of the same nonsense for Matthew Stafford. The Lions are a dead end, and the Niners are old, and we have the best pieces by far. And
okay.
That's where I'm at.
You forget about the team that just made their quarterback the highest paid player in the league. Forget about that squad. They look pretty good. They look pretty good.
He predicted a Super Bowl, too, before the game.
Yes, he did.
I will call back tomorrow about the Phillies because I do not like this can of worms you just opened right now, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this right now. The Eagles will abuse them when it comes to possession of the ball, period. Okay? There will be they will create such a frustration for the Cowboys on offense because the Eagles are so good on offense. That's what's going to happen.
You see that Cowboy defense yesterday? It looked pretty good to me. I don't know. All right. Listen, I hope you're right, but the Cowboys were more impressive than I thought they were going to be.
I mean, they do that every year. They start off 40 to nothing last year against the Giants, and then they lose by almost 40 points against the Packers in the playoffs.
You're right.
All right. We'll talk about the Phillies later next week. All right, I guess. Have a great day, Mike.
All right. There you go.
Thanks, Mike.
You could have dropped your Philly knowledge on. Honest.
Mike, very positive today. Not you, that Mike.
Super Bowl. Got him going to Super Bowl after game one.
But to your point about the Cowboys D, it's so hard to grade them because how much of it was how good they were. And I do think they're going to have a good defense. But how much of it was just how bad Cleveland is.
Yeah, they're bad, but Micah Parsons was an animal yesterday. He's all over the place.
That's the one thing. When you look at this Eagles team, and we'll see how Bryce Huff plays, but Bryce Huff is their big free agent acquisition on the edge. He's not Michael Parsons. He's not T.J. Watt. How dominant was T.J. Watt for the Steelers in that game?
Yeah.
You look at these other edge rushers that can literally take over football games. I don't think the Eagles are going to have a guy like that.
Yeah. You know we got to get, Ray? Can we get the post-game interview with Brady conducted with Micah Parsons? This is an example for all you kids on how not to do an interview.
I don't think I heard it.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No.
It was one of those interviews where there wasn't a question asked. You know, it was like Chum City.
Got you. So Brady did it? Brady conducted the interview?
Brady conducted the interview. Micah Parsons on the field with the headphones on.
I hear it for the first time when he pulls it up.
This is where Brady is going to have to grow, you know, because it's like a mutual admiration society type of interview, which it may play for those two guys, does not play for an audience that's watching it.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah, once he gets, I haven't heard it, so I'm looking forward to hearing it for the first time.
We'll get to that in a second. Let's go to Mitch in Phoenix. Mitch, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mitch.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Hello, Mitch.
Yeah, there's a fine line of people playing in college and coming out as a top pick and how they play in the NFL. And the perfect example is Kyle Pitts and that Bijan Robinson over in Atlanta. One guy went number 4, the other guy went number 8. Do you agree with that?
Both of them are good players. You know, Pitts
but they're not spectacular.
I think Bijan Robinson is. Now, I don't know if I would have taken a running back that early. Did Pitts have a good game? Did he have a touchdown catch yesterday?
He did.
Yeah, he had a touchdown catch. That kid's going to be a star. I mean, listen, it takes you a little while to become a star, but when you look at and judge their athleticism, there's no reason why, if you need a position, why you wouldn't take it. Bijan Robinson's a stud, man. He can do a lot of things.
They got a lot of weapons.
Well, he was a stud in college. I mean, he was a perfect physical specimen. And actually, because one of them was born in Philly, and Kyle Pitts was a tight end, I thought maybe
with the Archbishop Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what's your beef about both those guys? I don't get your beef here. But do you think Bijan Robinson had a good year last year? He had a great year last year.
All right, let's move on.
All right.
The two guys that Philly picked from Georgia, the two big boys on defense, are you impressed with either one of those guys?
Jalen Carter has to be more consistent. I don't know about Jordan Davis. I haven't seen much from Jordan Davis yet. Jalen Carter has a chance to be a dominant player in this league. So
which one?
Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
Jordan Davis hasn't shown up yet.
No, he looks to me like a bust. He looks like someone that did well at Georgia,
Yeah,
Getting
you're
way
a
too
hater with these guys that come into the draft. Sometimes it takes guys a little while. Mitch,
Yeah, I'm not a hater. I'm just pointing out the facts.
you didn't have a fact right on B. John Robinson. Pitts didn't have a great year last year, and he got hurt. But B. John Robinson was a stud for him.
Yeah, actually, Kyle Pitts hasn't done much at all since being drafted.
No, but it was 1 year.
Yeah, and they also fired Arthur Smith because he couldn't figure out how to take advantage of all those weapons. But Mitch, was that Mitch from Phoenix?
Mitch is a hater.
He does bring up a valid point. Jordan Davis, what concerned me was he plays, I think, 35 snaps yesterday. Let me confirm how many he plays. Jordan Davis plays 35 snaps on Friday night. In the third and fourth quarter, you started to see him get back to those bad habits where when he's tired, stands up a lot, doesn't get his pad level low, and he just makes it too easy for the offensive lineman. So I do have some concerns about Jordan Davis, but again, it's 1 week, one game.
610-632-0975 is how you get in. Mike Missanelli Show back after this. Day, reviewing the Eagles game, and a little later this half hour, in about a half hour, I should say, I'm bringing back a thing I used to do on Mondays when I was here before, called Around the NFL, where I will go around the NFL. It'll be like 5 things that caught my attention of doings in the NFL. I kind of do it like rapid fire. Like, you remember the old Chris Berman when he would do the highlights that way, Bill?
The fastest 2 minutes?
The fastest, without the dopey nicknames, of course, and without me saying,
Eric sleeping with the enemy. Remember that one?
They won't do any of that. But I'll just go hardcore the things that caught my attention this weekend, this Sunday in football. All right.
By the way, I know you always laugh at my segues, but man, Chris Berman's a big dude. You ever meet him in person?
Yeah.
I was surprised how big of a guy he was.
Yeah, he kind of came a big lug.
Yeah.
Late in his life.
Very big dude.
Yeah.
Rumbling, tumbling.
Yeah, enough.
He could go all the
Every week, same shit. Anyway,
well, remember they moved on from him. Then they had to bring him back. People wanted it back.
Yeah, I don't know how many people wanted it back. But they did bring it back. I don't know how many people wanted me back, but they brought me back. You never can tell.
Well, there's
two tell in this world.
2 people here who didn't want it. Me and Ray.
That's pretty good. See you. I'm going home. All right, let's get back to the fun. Oh no. Let's start off this hour with I referred to in the first hour Tom Brady's interview with Micah Parsons, and we were fortunate enough to get it. So let's start the 11 o'clock hour off with a bang. Here's Tommy B, TB12, as he's affectionately known, with Micah Parsons after the game.
Micah, what a game by you, the entire defensive line, but I get an opportunity to give one award to a player a week, and you get the LFG player of the game. What a game you played. It was fun being up here and not having you chase me around. So to see you from this perspective, man, you played a great game today. You impacted the game in rushing. You get so many double teams out there, but you still find a way to make an impact. Way to go.
Hey, I appreciate that, TB, man. I take everything you told me over this offseason, man, just try and use it and enforce it in this game. And I appreciate this word, bro. It means a lot from you.
Yeah, well, it means a lot to watch you continue to evolve. And
oh, my God.
You're an amazing player. You're a great leader for that team. I know we don't expect to
keep going.
see so many great things from you. So, way to go. It's a great start for you. Isn't it a great feeling when you're on the road and you look up at the stadium and it's just Cowboy fans here at the end?
Hey, there's nothing like a Cowboy takeover. When you start hitting that Cowboy, I mean, you ain't heard too much in your career, but it's a great feeling when it's the Cowboy takeover and you're on this side.
It is. Well, congratulations. I'll let you get in there with your teammates. But great
is
game.
There a question
we'll see you next week.
Brady?
A big one against the Saints.
We're
but it's a great
crying
start
out
to the
loud.
season. Congratulations.
Ask a freaking question.
Yeah. Wait, you started the
Love you,
show
my
saying,
man.
"Oh, he's still going?"
Love you. Have a great time. After seeing
Oh, my
Have
God.
a great time.
All right, TB, thank you, man.
All right, TB. All right, come on, man.
You did say at the beginning of the show, we got to give him time. He does. He needs to learn. You got to ask a question in an interview.
Ask a question. Is that difficult? Listen, like, it's not the least difficult part of that is, okay, post game, guys, you got some questions lined up for him. You got to get some questions lined up for him. Okay. I mean, is it that difficult? Like it looked like you were having your way with their offensive lineman. What were you doing special today to get around what they were trying to do to you? Like something like that.
I'm with you. What do you think about it being the LFG award?
I don't like it. I'm glad you brought that up. Come on now. Wait, listen, we don't have to scrub society. I get it. But come on with the LFG award.
I'm with you on that,
What
too.
are kids going to – you still have kids that pay attention to this?
Well, no, Mike, everybody's heard that word.
No. But I got it. Everybody's heard the word. You shouldn't, embellish it.
You shouldn't have an award that you can't say on
No.
it. Right? You can't say what the acronym means. It shouldn't be an award.
It's ridiculous. Come on now.
Wait, what does it mean?
Yeah.
People go, you're such a conservative. No. Everybody accuses me. You're such a liberal. I mean, here's a conservative view. Every time I have a conservative view, I'm like, you know what? That's cringeworthy, the LFG part of that. Right? It's a conservative view. And people go, well, you're too –
Everybody's heard that word.
It's like everybody doesn't have to hear the word. That's the point. In a polite society, everybody doesn't have to hear that word. Like I do a commercial, I'll say the Bill 7 times, but it's simply between Bill and I.
Yeah, but not on air. Not on air. But I think Brady's going to get better. I think he's going to be very good. The main issue that people have, and I already see it in the chat, is that they replaced the guy who was already very good in Greg Olsen. They didn't need to do this. That was the main point of contention a lot of people had, is why are you giving him all this money when you have someone who's as good as Greg Olsen?
Well, this award plays to the corniness of it. Like sometimes Tom Brady just seems forced in the way he speaks and the way he comes across.
He's Tom Brady. He's not Greg Olsen. He's Tom Brady. Yeah, well, of course you're going to grab at a bigger name. Why wouldn't you? What am I afraid to hurt Greg Olsen's feelings? Who's Greg Olsen compared to Tom Brady? You're going to talk about the greatest quarterback who ever lived at the most important position.
He's just a better color analyst.
I don't
right
care
now.
about that.
Right now.
If you're a network, you want the star attraction, oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's a good-looking dude, man, Tom Brady. Isn't he? My God, when he was on the screen, my wife said, too, she goes, how old is he? He's a good-looking dude, man. Got that chiseled jaw, great hair.
I'm trying to figure out who has the bigger crush on him. Micah Parsons or Bill?
Yeah.
I'm going Bill.
Yeah.
Micah was at least under a situation where he had to respond to Tom throwing a ton of praise his way. Bill just decided to throw that one out there willy-nilly.
Great-looking guy. He is.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. Now I'm going down a path I don't know where we're going.
That's all right. I kind of want to see you keep working with this. Mike, let's sit out and see where he's going to go.
Good-looking guy. You said it 5 times.
Best-looking guy going right now with Tom Brady? Who do we got?
You work for People Magazine or something?
Who's a better-looking guy? Travis Kelce in that bucket hat at the U.S. Open? Man, Travis Kelce is starting to annoy the hell out of me, man. That bucket hat, the Gucci bucket hat, like, come on, man.
Am I allowed to say that you can't say the same thing. You can say good-looking guy, but you can't say it's a good-looking girl, right? Like that.
Yeah, I guess you got to be careful. Yeah.
Like Aaron Andrews to me, I think is spectacular.
Very attractive woman.
Still.
Yeah, and does a great job, too.
And another in my wheelhouse is Carissa. Am I allowed to say that?
Wait, is Clarissa the one that got in trouble because she said they used to make up the sideline reports? Who was that?
Yeah.
That was her?
Carissa Thompson.
Yeah.
Fox. All right. 610-632-0975. Such a good-looking guy, right?
Yeah. We're all
we're all flustered. We got all hot and bothered in there in that studio, I guess.
You got a little steamy.
I can't concentrate now thinking of TB12.
Jeez, man. He's glad. He's sitting there like, yeah, they should throw us into the side. Who do I want on my television screen? I want Tom Brady.
Oh, man.
You going to be all right in there, Bill? You got a couple more hours.
How good-looking is Greg Olsen? You like him, too?
Not a bad-looking guy. I met him at the Super Bowl when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl.
Now he's name-dropping.
Another big dude.
Jeez.
I met him.
Big head.
Yeah, wait a second.
Olsen.
We've gotten 2 name drops in a matter of 1 segment.
How's that a name drop?
You did Berman, Olsen? Oh, I met
Greg
him.
Olsen. When I think Greg Olsen, I met him.
Well, when I say I met him, we bumped into each other at a
Like
restaurant.
Charles Barkley name-dropped about 50 people. I can't help if you don't know any famous people.
Yeah, he name dropped him with the wrong name. He thought Alice Cooper's name was Alice. Come on, Charles.
Mike Missanelli show continues.
Ricky Vitalico.
Mike Missanelli Show. Football Monday show. And we're talking football. Let me just take a little detour here, because this morning I was on Good Day Philadelphia, Fox 29. And thanks for those guys inviting me on to talk about this true crime podcast I'm currently immersed in. Been really satisfying for me to really explore this thing. For the people who don't know what I'm doing, the podcast is called The Coldest Murder. You can see it on YouTube, or you can any podcast network. You can listen to it. We have now have 4 episodes that are out there. The last episode. This is about the murder of a 9-year-old, rape and murder of a 9-year-old girl in a Catholic church that was around the corner from my house when I was a kid. It was an unsolved murder. It's been a cold case for 60-plus years, and I'm doing a podcast to retrace the steps of it and to get in who the suspects were and who might be the killer. I'm doing it like a whodunit, so if you listen to it, you accumulate your own evidence in your head. And you go by feel on who you think the killer was. And the end game of this is that we'll eventually be able to solve this through DNA. I was talking about it this morning. Episode 4 deals with I talked to the ladies who were her classmates. The little girl's name was Carol Ann Doherty. And I talked to to 3 people that were her classmates in that little Catholic elementary school, and they tell me how it affected the rest of their lives.
Interesting. That's the one you're recording today?
No, that's episode 4. I'm recording another one tomorrow, which gets into the details and the life of another suspect who the murderer could be. But this last one is fascinating in that these 9-year-old kids. After this happened, they still had school the next day. They had her open desk was there. They kept it there. They still had school, and investigators interviewed every one of the kids in that class, pulled them out of class.
Jeez.
And they took the belts off of the boys that they interviewed.
Why? Because
she was strangled in the church, and in covering all their bases. One of the theories was whether it would be possible that it was one of her male classmates, and so they tried to examine the belts of all of them to see if it would match the strangle marks. Jeez. Can you imagine going through that at age 9?
No. And Provolone John on YouTube says to you, Mike, the Coldest Murder podcast should be made into a movie. The debris falling down from the window of the choir loft gave me chills. With Carol Ann's friends right outside.
Yeah, so the story with that is these 2. She was supposed to meet 2 of her friends at the library. She was on her way to a library to return a book. She stopped at the church before she went to the library with the book still in her little bike basket, went into the church. That's where she was murdered. So the 2 girls who were waiting for her, she never showed. They rode their bikes down that road towards the church, and they saw her bicycle outside. And they were going to go inside the church, and it's a good thing they didn't, because the killer may have been still there. They couldn't go into the church because they didn't have any head covering. And as in the Catholic Church, if you were a female, you couldn't go into a church without head covering back then.
Yeah.
So the one girl said that she all of a sudden felt debris hit her top of her head, and she looked up at the church steeple. And there was a window that had been there were 3 louvered windows in the steeple loft, and one of them was open. And so the supposition is that the killer was there. He opened the window to see who was outside, so he could clear out of there. And debris from the windowsill fell and hit the girl in the head.
Creepy, Ray.
So that's episode 4. Hopefully people are getting into this and you form your own opinions on it. And again, if you have any opinion on this, or you have any information or any curiosities, I've set up an email address for this podcast. It's called Justice for Carol Ann, the number 4 at gmail.com. All right. So there you go with that. Thank you. Thank you for your family for listening and watching.
Yeah,
it as
great
well.
stuff, dude.
All right, let's go to Joe on a cell. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe.
Hey, guys. So, by the way, the Cowboys, they were playing against Cleveland, who started 2 backup tackles. So for everybody who's
Yeah.
all excited about the Dallas, I mean, two back. If we
Yeah,
had Tyler Keene-
right. The offensive line was quite. I get it. He didn't have time, but he had no savvy at all in that
horrible.
game. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So listen, the Jalen Hurts thing. So the thing that I mean, I thought he made a couple of nice throws. When he has to go to a second reading, it's beyond horrible. The interception up 5 in the fourth quarter, in the middle of the end zone, was amongst the worst interceptions he's ever thrown. Like, what is he thinking? Like, I don't understand how you don't protect the ball at that point.
You're right. That's what bothers me. Now we're into this year where he's got to show a lot of things. That's the fundamental thing that he should be able to show. Like, twice, his brain did not process it that, no, that's a no-no. And that's what bugged me more about it.
Yeah, and the one he threw to the sideline on that same drive was in the guy's hands.
Yeah.
He could have thrown 4 interceptions. Like, I mean, that didn't get better. This goes on the heels of taking the worst safety I've ever seen in football. I've been watching it for like 50 years. Like, his decision-making was horrible.
Well, listen, he did make some good decisions, too, so it wasn't all bad. You have to process that kind of crap out of your head to become a really good NFL quarterback. That cannot happen. You don't make those kind of mistakes. And he's not young enough now to not to process that out of his brain. That should be processed out of his brain by now.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, like, yeah, he did make great throws. It seems like, I mean, nationally they say when he comes off of his first read, he's not effective. He can't throw the ball in the middle of the field, which still boggles my mind.
Yeah, no, I get it. This is one of these deals where I need more information, and he was good and he was bad. So what did I get? Did I get any more information? I didn't really get any more information. I'm a flat line now with Jalen Hurts because those mistakes that he made were so fundamental that I go, oh, no, that's not something that should happen. Like he can make other mistakes, but he can't make that. That's a brain again. No, I can't do that. Like that should be processed out. Don't you agree, Bill?
Yeah, it should be, and he shouldn't make that decision. When you're up by 5, you got the ball in the red zone, you roll out to the right. Yeah, you don't take the chance throwing the ball across your body.
Also, the one in the middle of the field early in the game. That's not a throw that you. Like, how do you throw that up for grabs? 3 guys are going to converge in the middle of the field. Well, how is that a decision that you make?
You shouldn't make it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what
you shouldn't make.
That's what I don't get. Like that. The one thing that should happen there is that the simplest thing is can't do that and go. I can do 100 other things, but I can't do that.
I'm with you on the decision making, but that caller is ignoring some of the things he did well. He says Jalen still can't throw the ball in the middle of the field. Not true. If you actually look at the numbers from week 1, he was 10 of 14 in the middle of the field. And that was an area they did not utilize last year with Brian Johnson.
Like I say, he did some good things. There's no question about it.
And he was good against the blitz. See, all the things that we were worried about with Jalen were, how's he going to be against the blitz? Well, he's 6 of 8 for 91 yards.
Yeah, they didn't blitz a lot, though.
23% of the time, which to me was a shock.
Yeah.
Halfley should have been blitzing him like crazy.
Yeah.
But the things we were worried about, how's he against the blitz? He was fine. Can he throw the ball over the middle? Well, he threw 38% of his pass plays were over the middle. Last year, it was 5.7%. So there's good things to take from this game. The decision-making, to me, I actually feel good about it because it's, hey, you can clean that up. The things we were worried about weren't an issue. It's just don't throw the damn ball
you can clean it up.
across your body.
I'm saying it should have been cleaned up before he takes a snap. That should be clean. That's something that should be cleaned up already. That's all I'm saying. That's fundamental.
And it could be fixed.
610-632-0975. Back at it. disco-esque.
This is like where you get the fist pump, like
Yep.
Look at Ray getting down out there. Look at that old man dance Ray's doing back there.
I love a little electro.
Victory Monday, Ray.
Mike Missanelli Show, 11:32, and this music leads into. It'll be a weekly feature. This is something I used to do on Monday, Bill. 5 things that caught my eye for the weekend of football, and it's something I call Around the NFL. There we go. Little NFL football music. Let's start out with the Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. Either the Cowboys are better than I thought, or Cleveland Browns are in for a long season with this quarterback. Listen, Deshaun Watson, he didn't get any protection. I get it. His running game stinks, but this dude was nowhere near being a competent quarterback Sunday afternoon. Dallas hammered the Browns 33-17, and it wasn't even that close. Before the game, Dak Prescott becomes the highest paid player in the NFL. You freaking kidding me? And I had a mediocre game on Sunday, threw for 179 yards and a touchdown. But the Cowboys got 4 field goals from Brandon Aubrey. That dude is a monster. He had a 66-yard field goal negated when the Cowboys got to delay a game penalty before the kick, even though they had 2 timeouts left. Watson was horrible. This Cleveland team is supposed to have a great defense. They're going to have a terrible time trying to score. Watson sacked 6 times, intercepted twice, overthrew about 10 passes. Quarterback rating was 51.1. The Cowboys highlight, Cavante Turpin, 60-yard punt return. Here it is.
And another Bajorquez punt. Turpin racing up the middle. Cavante Turpin needs one more block. He's got it, and he goes for the touchdown.
It's not bad called, by the way. Needs one more block. Look where they go. He needs one more block. He got it. Number 2, the New York Giants. Oof. Oh. They got flat spanked by the Minnesota Vikings. And Sam Darnold on Sunday. Darnold threw for a couple 100 yards and 2 TDs, one to Justin Jefferson. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones was awful. And he got booed in the parking lot on his way out of Giant Stadium. People hung around to boo him.
Danny Penny's they're calling him.
Believe this? 22 of 62 for 186 yards for Daniel Jones. He had 2 interceptions. Linebacker Kevin Van Ginkel had a spectacular one-handed interception that he turned into a 10-yard run for a touchdown. Here it is.
It's been really, really tough for the Giants offensively. Bunch formation to the right. Van Ginkel, touchdown! Wow! Knocked Jones out with a neck injury last year, and now adds insult to injury against the Giants.
I like it, Kenny.
Van Ginkel. Number 3, the Bears.
Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah. Is that what his name is?
Yes.
Andrew? Not Kevin?
Andrew.
That's my bad. Sorry, it's Andrew Van Ginkel. Thank you. The Bears, they won their opener. Don't get excited. Rookie Caleb Williams wasn't very good. It was more like the Titans gave it away. Williams completed 14 passes Sunday for less than 100 yards in his first NFL game. The Titans were comfortably in front. They led this game 17-0. Bears in this game didn't even score an offensive touchdown, but they kind of chipped away. They got a block punt return for a TD, field goal cut the score to 17-16, and then Titans quarterback Will Levis made as boneheaded a play as possible. When trying to avoid a sack, he flipped the football out to the sidelines. Tyreek Stevenson intercepted it and returned it untouched for 43 yards for the winning touchdown. Here's the play.
On 3rd down and 6, here they come. Gordon's coming. Levis gets wrapped up. Flakes it ahead. It's picked off. Tyreek Stevenson will give the Bears the lead on another defensive play.
Another good call. Now, see, had Will Levis stayed at Penn State, he would have never made a mistake like that. Never.
You don't think?
No, he had to go here, he had to go there.
Could have been the mayonnaise cologne.
Number 4, the Los Angeles Chargers, now coached by Jim Harbaugh. They win 22-10. Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the program that he left wounded and on probation got hammered at home in a game that I thought they would get hammered by Texas. But the Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10. Now, they beat a quarterback named Gardner Minshew, and the Raiders just absolutely stink. And it wasn't what the Chargers quarterback did as much to J.K. Dobbins, who rushed for 135 yards. But here is Jim Harbaugh in the locker room after the game getting a game ball. Here it is.
I just want to say, on behalf of all the newcomers to the Chargers, you know, myself and everybody else, on behalf of them, I just want you to know, we're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones. The worm has turned. The worm has turned. I'm telling you, this is the week to attack. But you can't get to 2-0 without being 1-0. Who's got it better than us?
Yeah, who's got it better than us? Nobody. That's just his signature phrase. Relax, Jimbo. You beat the Raiders. You're crying out loud.
That is wild, though, because after every show, me and Ray go back, and that's what we say.
Is that what you
Who
say?
has it better than
Who
us?
has it better than us?
And Ray always says, no one.
There you go. Sounds
Just like that.
Sounds like something Ray would say.
Yeah. Break it down. I'm crazy.
All right. Finally, Tyreek Hill had a very adventurous day. First, he got pulled over from Miami police as he was trying to get to the stadium. Now, I don't know what he did to get pulled over because that hasn't really been explored. He winds up getting handcuffed and put on the ground on the road. But Hill plays right into this drama, right? The Dolphins beat the Jaguars 20-17. They had trailed 17-7, and then Hill scores an electric 80-yard touchdown. His celebration, he had a teammate fake like he was putting handcuffs on him. Dios mio. Here's the play.
Recovered in the end zone, 20. It goes back 1st and 10 to a Tonga by Law. Armstead the block, and he's going deep. He's got Hill. Foot race. Driving. 36. Oh, he's a ghost.
Ain't nobody catching Tyreek Hill on a play like that. Tua had a big day. He threw for 336, and the Dolphins won it on a 52-yard field goal by Jason Sanders, which normally would have been the highlight, but I can't highlight a kick to win a game. And that is around the NFL for today. Okay, so just the one thing on this Tyreek Hill thing. What could he have possibly done to get handcuffed and put on the ground?
I don't want to speculate, but what I'm thinking happened is, one, they said it was reckless driving, and then he probably was a little bit rude or cocky to the police officer. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Not saying that it was justified, not justified. I'm not making an opinion on that. But that's what it looked like, is if you watch some of the videos of it, is they come up to the window and the cop's like yelling at him and he's saying something back, and the next thing you know, they're like, get out of the car, get out of the car. So who knows?
These things can be diffused so much more easily. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's like the Scotty Scheffler thing. They tell you, "Hey, I'm Tyreek Hill. I play for the Dolphins. I'm getting to the game." Oh, okay. We got to cite you though because it was reckless driving. I don't get where it gets to a point. You can handcuff a guy and put him on the ground for a traffic thing.
Did you see the touchdown highlight you played? Didn't Waddle come up and put Hill in handcuffs as the touchdown celebration?
Ray. Did you listen to what I just said?
Yeah, I did.
Was that part of my highlight?
That was a part of your highlight.
What are you doing when I'm doing these highlights?
It was part of the highlight, the celelebration?
No. Part of what he said.
I said his
that came out of his mouth.
Celebration? Well, he had a teammate fake like he was putting handcuffs on him.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear me say that?
I did not hear it.
We got to work on that. The headphones over there.
Where do you go?
I was reading the YouTube chat. I was trying to see if there was anyone responding to what you were doing.
It would be nice if you listen to your partner every now and then.
We're going to have to put, like, parental controls on your
YouTube chat. What is it with you? It's obsessed with this YouTube chat.
You make my ears bleed sometimes, so I tune out. You know what I mean, Ray?
Yeah, you're going to swim alone on this one, buddy. Don't you dare try and throw that lifeline to me.
Working with a guy with ADD is an interesting situation.
Not easy. It's not easy.
No, it isn't.
But, hey, you got to take the good with the bad, just like we did with Jalen Hurts' performance on Friday night.
And now, segue.
A point of emphasis in my highlight.
Sorry, missed that one, Mike. Missed it.
Oh, my God. That's so disrespectful. 610-632.
I heard everything else. It makes you feel better.
No. I want to run these back. Give me 3 of the 5 games, Bill.
I know he gave the Tennessee Titans highlight, the New York Giants highlight, the Tyreek Hill highlight. He talked about the Chicago Bears and the lack of production from the offense.
That's Tennessee. So we'll.
What else did we talk about here? He talked about. Wait, how many games did you go through?
Went through five. Five of them.
5 highlights. It's the 5. This is what I said.
Right, so
at
it was
start.
the Bears
It's
game.
The 5 things that caught my attention.
The Bears game, the Dolphins game, the Giants game, the Chargers game, and the Cowboys.
I need to know the show.
I need,
5 for 5.
In the YouTube chat, I need this. I need the people just to tell me whether that was a violation, what you just did there. Since you're obsessed with the YouTube chat,
Someone already said.
I want the YouTube chat to sound off on that.
They're already saying it. Go Birds. You blew this one, Bill. 215. Bill said I'm reading the comments with all laughing emojis. We got to figure out what's in between Bill's headphones.
Did you see what he did after the touchdown? That's a touchdown celebration.
Mixed reviews. Some are saying no violation. Others are saying violation.
How's that not a violation?
That's a violation.
Your partner's talking about something. And you like blow it completely off and say, "Hey, did you see what he did with?"
Here's what they're saying. This is why they're sticking up for me. Interacting with the chat is a good thing. He's simply trying to tie the YouTube chat into the show. Major props to Bill.
Tie the YouTube chat.
I'm a man of the people.
After the bid is over, tie the damn YouTube chat into it.
Listen, I'm a man of the people. That's all I can say. I'm just trying to stay connected with my YouTube chat here.
That is a moment. That's like Bernie. Huh?
Eh?
It's got a Noel in his cell. Noel, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Noel.
Yeah, how you doing, Mike?
What's up, Noel?
Nothing much, man. I was down there.
Oh, you were in Brazil?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Tell me about the journey.
Oh, man. The journey I had to go to, I had to go to Panama City first. We had a holdover there for about an hour, and then we made our way to Sao Paulo. So it was a good, I guess, 13 hours or so.
Wow.
It was good, though, yeah.
Panama City, Panama?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And how long was your layover in Panama?
It was an hour over there.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, about an hour. The plane was late getting there, so, it was a little tenacious at times, but it was well worth it.
All right, so when you're in the stadium, what was the stadium like? It was kind of a weird setup, the way the stadium is. It's a soccer stadium, and it's a lot smaller than an NFL stadium. What did you feel like in there?
I don't know. I felt like it was huge. I don't know. I was on the 50-yard line. I was like R11, so I had one of the best seats in the house. I can't see if anybody had any better seats than I. So I was able to see everything.
How'd you get those tickets?
I got them through on location. I was one of the first ones that, as soon as they announced it, I just went ahead and got my.
Yeah, nice job by you.
I was done.
That must have been fun. That's a fun trip.
Oh yeah.
So did you like Brazil? Did you go to restaurants? Was it dangerous? What was it like?
I didn't see any. It wasn't really dangerous. I stayed out in Guadalajara. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And Guadalajara. Something like that. And so that was about
Mexico,
8 kilometers.
Yeah.
It was about 8 kilometers away. So it wasn't bad, man. Your money goes a long way out there. So, and that was my third time in Brazil. So,
okay. All right, cool.
So,
All right, so what did you think of the game? What did you think of the performance, Noel?
I thought Quinyon Mitchell played. I think we got a player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I like him. He's got that swag. He's got that. He's confident in his ability. So I think that was a great pick. The linebackers played well. I thought.
Zach Baun played really well. Now Kobe Dean had some moments, but he was also kind of scatterbrained on a few plays.
Yeah, a few plays, and the secondary. I think we expected them. I think the safeties played okay. I think we overall, they had a couple
CJ
of gaps,
made a faux pas when he lost the guy. He had deep coverage.
Don't tell him that. He came out after the game, defended himself.
Yeah.
On his Instagram Live.
Well, of course he's going to defend himself.
Blankenship had a tremendous interception. I mean, I just watched that over. I just got home yesterday, and I'm watching the game on TV, and that interception was tremendous. The one thing, though, the pass rush, it has to get better, especially from the outside. So I was going to ask you, is there any possibility of getting Hassan Reddick back?
No.
And how we work his magic? Is that just done?
Not going to work. No, he's not going to pay him. So that's done. There's no way they're going to get him.
No.
He wants cash. That's his whole thing. And the Eagles aren't going to give him that.
No, if they wanted to keep him, they would have paid him.
We have a special guest calling in.
I see that.
A veteran radio man who spent a lot of time at the other station. And he's checking in. I haven't talked to Steve in a long time. The great Steve Martirano is checking in. What's up, Stevie?
Good morning, Michael.
How you doing?
I'm doing as well as I can. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm back at it, Steve.
Yeah. Just the other day, I woke up out of a cold belly. Anyway, here's the deal. Two things. Congratulations on coming back. I know that the fans are excited to hear you again.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, what I'm really calling about is wondering, did you see what those cops did to Tyree Hill?
Yes, I did. All right, now, are you doing this to mock my partner, Bill?
I can't believe you didn't mention it.
All right, now, Steve, you're a guy that's worked with a lot of partners in the radio business, right? If somebody would not be listening to what you said, would that infuriate? How would you handle that?
Well, I was just amused. I'm sure there are lots of people, Mike. Let's face it, the audience gets younger all the time that don't understand how a veteran like you could go, wait a minute, where the hell was he when I just said that?
Yeah, did YouTube exist back then? No. All right, I got a YouTube chat I'm dealing with over here.
Of course, Steve worked with my good buddy Anthony Gargano for a long time. And you guys were, that never happened to you, right? He never tuned out when you had something.
We were very fortunate. We had terrific young guys. Mike Garafolo of the NFL.
Oh yeah, now he's a star.
The legendary Bubba Nagel was great. But every now and then, I love Bubba. I love him like a brother. Every now and then, in the middle of the show, Bubba would walk in during a break and say, "You think I can get a job with the CIA?" Hey, Anthony and I would go, as soon as you get Brett Favre's phone number for us, all right?
Yeah, stick to that, Skippy. Yeah.
I want to tell your young and new co-workers, not being too rough with you. But,
don't be too rough with me. I'm an old man now. That what you want to tell him?
He's going to be cranky, all right?
Stevie, good to hear from you, brother. Take care of yourself.
All right, buddy, take care.
All right, man.
Thanks, Steve.
Great, Steve. Legend checking in. Steve Martirano.
I'm glad that he chose to check in just to...
He heard the same thing.
Yeah, just to take a shot.
He knows how that feels. You go into something, and your party goes, hey, and repeats the same thing.
Well, they put a poll up on the YouTube chat.
They did?
Whether it was a violation.
Uh-huh.
It's a 60-40 split right now. Your favorite.
That's a violation.
How could it not be a violation? Seriously, where are the 40%ers coming from?
They're talking about how it's a good thing.
The partner fades out. He's not even listening to what you say.
They're saying it's a good thing that I'm staying in touch with the chat.
I'm shocked the chat thinks it's a good idea. You're staying in tune with the chat.
Frig the chat. All right?
Oh, that's not a war you want to wage.
I love our YouTube audience. You see, YouTube?
That's not a war you want to wage with the YouTube chat.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with it. That's my people, my YouTube chat.
610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Coming up, the news at noon. 7-5, the Fanatic at New Time. We do a little something we call the News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, Ray Dunn has spanned the globe to find some very interesting tidbits for us. And that's why we call it the News at Noon, because it's news. Ray, what do you have?
I'm all footballed up today. I'll get you some Jeff Teague audio later on this week. It was all football this weekend for me, and I enjoyed my Saturday of college football. I don't know if it was just that I hadn't gotten a chance to really sit down the first 2 real weeks of it, but I enjoyed the chance to sit down and enjoy it. And one of the games that I had circled going into this season and certainly circled this weekend was Colorado and Nebraska. 2 coaches in year 2. How would it go? It went the way of Nebraska. And George Sanders, post-game, was asked whether the offense needed some more balance. They need to run the ball a little bit better. And this is where he took that question.
I mean, how many times did Raul get touched? How many times did Raul get touched? They was able, like, of course, whenever you're able to run the ball consistently and whenever you're able to, then that opens up the pass, you know? But it's just like you got to understand, like, what your team good at. So it's like, why would we keep running the ball if, okay, we out there and we get in a situation where it's a must get and we don't get it?
So he's throwing his offensive line under the bus, or his running backs under the bus, or what's he doing there?
Went right to the O-line there, referencing the fact that Nebraska quarterback had not been touched a lot of that game.
Dylan Raiola, not Raioli.
Raioli. The way he pronounced it, I was like, did I have it wrong the entire time?
Raioli, I think, is a pasta.
Patrick Mahomes.
Raiola is Dylan Raiola, the quarterback for Nebraska.
Who tries to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he does. He has his own hairstyle as his idol and the whole bit. Listen, I watched this game, obviously, because I had money on Nebraska. My 2 plays were Texas and Nebraska. That's a cha-ching weekend for college football. But he's right. He got it's amazing how little protection they have on that team. They haven't recruited well enough to build that program. They all this fanfare with Deion Sanders and how they started off last year, and it completely fell apart. They finished 4-8. They were 1-8 in the conference, and they're going to probably have the same kind of year. Now, this kid can play. He's going to be a top 5 pick, I think, as a quarterback in the NFL. But it's pathetic. So what do? You try to ignore it? I don't know. Is he at fault for throwing his offensive line under the bus when they stink? I guess a quarterback shouldn't do that, right, Bill?
Yeah, he shouldn't do that, but it's on Deion. He's building the team like a fantasy football team. He's ignoring the trenches.
These skill players that flock to him, but it's not a complete team. And let me tell you something. Nebraska's going to be a powerhouse. Matt Rule knows how to build a college program, and he's building it pretty quickly at Nebraska.
If he could build one on Broad Street, he could build one anywhere.
Yeah, he can.
All right. I see what we're going to do there. Bill, I'm just going to move on.
How did Temple make out this weekend?
Like I said, I'm going to just move on.
Did they lose to Navy
I'm moving on.
by 40? Oh, come on.
We're moving on. So this is the News at Noon. We're going to the News at Noon here. We're going to Drew Bledsoe. He made waves on Sunday. ESPN did a piece about the relationship between a veteran quarterback and the younger quarterback in that room. He was talking about a topic he knows all too well about, and that's being replaced by that younger quarterback. In doing so, he praised Tom Brady a little bit, but really took a shot at Tony Romo.
In Dallas, Parcells made the decision to yank me at halftime of a game and throw Romo in there. Really didn't agree with that one. If you're watching this, Romo, you know this was true. The minute that he became the starter, he became pretty big in his own mind. And he was no longer the curious, inquisitive guy. Where that was the difference between him and Tommy. Tommy became the starter. He still was asking all the questions where all of a sudden Romo was the guy that had all the answers.
Oh, bitter.
Wow.
How about that? Drew is bitter on many levels that he didn't get the acclaim or the success that he thought he should have in the NFL.
Wow, takes a shot at Tony Romo.
He did take a shot at Tony Romo. Come on, Drew. That's it. Tony Romo took out our quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, right? At that point, what are you supposed to do?
And that year, Romo's one bad hold away from going to an NFC Championship game, right?
Why would he ask Drew Bledsoe for advice when he beat Drew Bledsoe out?
And played pretty well that season, Tony.
Yes,
Romo.
he did.
They just needed to replace him as the holder, and they would have been fine.
Or Drew, man.
What happened, by the way, that we're all of a sudden going to Drew Bledsoe
I know,
once every
it
few
is weird.
weeks?
All of a sudden, he's like on a cross somewhere, you know? What is going on with this?
He's also staying relevant by taking shots at Brady and Romo. Now, Brady, it's more tongue-in-cheek. Romo, there may be a little bit more there.
He's in the wine now. Yeah, he's got a vineyard, producing wine.
You have a vineyard?
I do. I'm still doing this.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
There
point.
you go, Bledsoe.
That's my point.
You're Bledsoe.
Got to do the show. Are you interested in doing the show from the winery?
I think that'd be fun.
You think
yeah.
we could set it up like right in the vineyards, like with the grapes surrounding us? It wouldn't be on YouTube though, would it?
We could make that work.
Can we
make it work?
Can we make it work where it would be on YouTube within the vines? That would be a cool show.
That'd be a really cool show.
While sipping wine the whole time?
Will we be allowed to do that? Can we drink wine during the show?
So long as you're not operating the board, I think you're fine.
I think we can.
Sign me up.
Sip some
I'll
wine.
work the vineyard while you guys are going.
Let's work that. Of course, it's called now Briganti by the Bay. It used to be called Natale Vineyard. So if you haven't had a chance to go there. Go hang out. It's a beautiful place to hang out, and you can look at the vines. It's beautiful. I love that lifestyle, that wine lifestyle.
I got to make it down there. I haven't been there
Yeah,
yet.
you should. That's another violation. That's the second one today.
Come on. Seriously, you haven't been there?
Have you?
Come on, Bill. Come on. Figure it out.
You live in Jersey.
See,
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I have kids. You don't. There's no excuse. You should be taking girls down there on dates and everything else.
Wait a second. The first 2 weeks we started this show, weren't they out of the country?
That's true.
Yeah, all right. That's what I thought. One last thing here today, and this is just something I want everyone to hear across the Delaware Valley. If you didn't see it on social media, Dak Prescott talked with Fox, talked with Aaron Andrews before the Cowboys game on Sunday, and she walked him into saying this. Against my better judgment, I did include the full clip for context here.
I'm really big into manifesting. Are you?
Yes.
Let's speak it into existence.
Do it.
The 2024 Dallas Cowboys
24 Dallas Cowboys. Will win the Super Bowl.
On Fox.
On Fox. in New Orleans.
Okay.
I just look forward to replaying that back when they lose before the NFC Championship
that's why
game.
you're doing that?
Yes. I just want out there
I'll tell
now.
you what, they looked a lot better than I thought they would look. They don't have a running back, although Zeke turned back the clock a little bit on a couple plays.
Zeke looked good. The issue, though, is a 17-game season for him. He's going to hit a wall. There's no doubt about it. But, look, I would love to hate on Prescott. I would. He's hasn't been to the championship game, and he's predicting Super Bowls. But she did walk him into it.
I know. She walked him into it. That's why I include the whole thing. I'm being fair here with the context.
But he is getting killed for that comment, Mike.
How do you feel about he is getting killed?
On Twitter and everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, listen, should he be the highest paid player in the league? No, he should not. It's ridiculous that he's the highest paid player in the league. Come on.
And they gave him $1 million more guaranteed than what Watson got.
It's ridiculous. Well, not that he got more than Watson, but he's like, is he a top 10 quarterback?
Dak?
Is he a top 10 quarterback right now who deserves to be paid like that? I don't know. Maybe they had no choice. You know, they had to give it up.
That's the thing. We could be excited about the fact that he's going to be there for 4 more years, but it is one of the better scenarios for them to work out where they keep him around.
Listen, I'm a fan of Aaron Andrews. I sometimes think she gets a bit too chummy.
With the players?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you get more bees with honey, as they say.
Yeah, I guess.
But Dak, they were forced. See, this is why.
She's not hugging of play, like hugs players.
She does that whole thing?
Yeah.
But
I don't know if you're a journalist or even a reporter like you should be hugging.
Would you give Tom Brady a hug if you saw him?
You would, though. He's so good looking.
But hold on. Real quick to Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
This is why you do what the Eagles did. Because there's some people saying, did they pay Jalen Hurts too soon? The reason you pay your quarterback early is you avoid the mess that the Cowboys just had with Dak. They had to give him this much.
Yeah.
Because if the season finished, he was a free agent. They couldn't do anything.
This is only going to go up and up and up. It is mind-boggling. The quarterback has so much sway in this league. All right.
Quarterback league, man.
610-632-0975. I'm going to get deep into what you saw on Friday or what you did not see. And we'd love to hear from you today, either by text or by calls or by YouTube chat board.
Am I allowed to read the chat? I don't know.
Bill's the
We got a break now. You can go read.
Yeah, you can read it now. We'll be back after this.
ESPN.
Open lines. We had a lot of calls in the 11 o'clock hour. Now you can get in because I want to hear your assessment of what you saw on Friday. We've given our assessment. We're going to do it again. 610-622-0975. Well, just one quick little story that has to do with Steve Martirano. Not Steve is a buddy in the industry who called, but he is. There's a different Steve Martirano who is from South Philly, who created some restaurants.
That's who I thought it was calling in.
No, it's not.
Because he's in Florida now, too, isn't he?
Steve Martirano has this famous restaurant in Fort Lauderdale called Martirano's. Now, he's also now doing a thing at Bet Rivers Casino. At Rivers Casino. He's running a steakhouse there. But this place in Fort Lauderdale is frequented many times by celebrities. It's a really interesting restaurant. The food's fantastic, first of all. He uses like all his mother's recipes, but it's like an event. You go in there and he's got TV screens all over the wall showing movies. It's usually mob movies, but sometimes it's not. And he stopped chefing, and now he DJs behind in the kitchen, behind like the open kitchen. He'll DJ. So there's always music playing and movies being shown. There's no sound in the movies, just the movies are out there. So I'm in there with a buddy of mine. We got we have reservations, and so we're waiting at the hostess table there. And I'm looking up at the screens, and a Marlon Brando movie, an old Marlon Brando movie is on. Now there are two black and white movies that he did. So
Stella,
yeah, that was one. That's on the waterfront, and also Streetcar Named Desire. So I eavesdrop on a conversation. People behind me, it's a man and two women. And I hear one of them go, "Oh, look, it's Marlon Brando and in black and white. It's an old movie." And the guy says, "Yeah, that's probably on the waterfront or a Streetcar Named Desire." Now I know it's a Streetcar Named Desire, so I turn around and I go, "It's a Streetcar Named Desire," and it's Hootie. It's Darius Rucker.
Oh.
Right? So
we gave him a reference last week, too.
Yeah, it's Darius Rucker, and there's two ladies with him. So I go, and I do a kind of the double take, and I almost said, "What's up, Hootie?"
Oh, he would have got angry.
But I at the last minute, I go, "What's up, Darius?"
You lucky.
So I made the right call, I think, on that, right? But I was close. They go, what's up, Hootie?
There's a great Key and Peele skit about that.
Oh, really?
There's a Key and Peele skit where they do it, and the guy in the crowd keeps yelling, "Hootie! Where's Hootie?" And then Darius Rucker freaks out.
Yeah, but you'll see all kinds of athletes in there. I saw Shaq in there once. Like, everybody flocks to this restaurant. He's got a good thing going down there. Now,
good meatballs?
He puts a meatball on a salad. Like, it's his thing. You know, like all Italians used to eat salad after the meal, right?
Yes.
And some would eat a meatball with the salad. I remember this. So he serves this colossal meatball on a salad. That's as an app. It's like one of the apps.
I could get down with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's really good, right? He's got a crazy thing going down there with people and popularity.
You just reminded me, too. My wife this morning was telling me about, because remember Mike was talking about how he can't get his tomatoes to stay alive?
Yeah.
The client of hers, she's a personal trainer that used to bring us the tomatoes, only brought peppers because she said all the tomatoes died.
They got cooked.
Yep.
The June heat cooked the roots, and so they didn't produce fruit. The plants still grew, but it didn't. In fact, it's really interesting. Now that the temperatures have gotten a little cooled down, I'm getting a lot of San Marzano tomatoes.
Oh, that's nice.
But they're green, but they're still growing.
But at least you're getting something.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Rich in Upper Darby. He's been holding. Rich, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Rich?
Mike, good to talk to you, man.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm glad that you're back. And you know what, Mike? You are truly one of the really OGs of sports talk in this city, brother. You really are, man. I enjoy listening to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I love that. I love that OG mantle.
No, you are. You the uncrowned king of Philadelphia sports.
Well, give me a crown, damn it. Send me a crowd. Let's go.
Well, look, if I can catch up with you, I'll bring it down to you. Because, the last time I seen you in live was about maybe 15 years ago. You were doing a show from Rube's sports place right there at 13th and Chestnut.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they down on Walnut Street now, but you were there doing a show right.
Oh yeah, that was the Mitchell, where old Mitchell Ness was with Big Rube. Yeah,
that's it. That's it. Look, Mike, I was on the phone, but I was listening to the talk, and I know you had brought up the Watt brothers, the Russians. Look, this is what I'm concerned about the Eagles right now, defensively, going on from Friday night's game and before. When will we get a good edge rusher?
That's a good question. Yeah, it really is a good question because they don't have one now. They thought it was going to be Huff. They thought that Nolan Smith could grow into one. That hasn't happened yet. It's early for Huff, so I'll give him some time.
Because the reason why I say this, because I've been looking at football all this weekend, and I seen two of the greatest three maybe edge rushers in football, and there's another one coming on tonight in Boza from the 49ers. Now, this boy, the younger brother that's still playing for Pittsburgh, number 90,
J.J. Watt.
Man, this guy, he's got a smell for the football.
He does.
He's always there.
Those guys are special, man. Those guys are special.
And
they're relentless.
That's right. And this other young boy that's coming up there from Detroit, Henderson, he's like a battery that don't stop.
Hutchinson, yeah. Aiden Hutchinson.
He just keeps coming. Now,
you got to get one. There's no question. They've got to get one, and it's not going to like Josh Sweat. And Graham played a lot of snaps. I mean, he played more snaps than Huff did. For crying out loud!
Josh Sweat was still on the team.
Yeah, Josh Sweat is still on the team. You're not going to get much out of Brandon Graham at this point. Huff is the guy that's got to give it to you. Who else are we talking about here? You're down on Nolan Smith. They got away with a game where the pass rush didn't really hurt the other team. That can't happen a lot.
No, it can't. And to the caller's point, you look at these other teams. Detroit has Aiden Hutchinson that can take over games. The Steelers have T.J. Watt. The Cleveland Browns have Myles Garrett. The Cowboys have Micah Parsons. The 49ers have Nick Bosa. The Eagles used to have Hassan Reddick, where I don't put him on the level of those guys. But you saw in 2022, Reddick could take over games. And even last year, what did we call Reddick? He was the closer. You remember we would call him the closer because he would show up big and late in games.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling out Bryce Huff yet, but it's not a good sign. He played less snaps than everybody. But you got to look at the field, too. When you got an edge rusher that relies on speed around the edge, we don't know how much that field could have affected him. Like, if this continues over the next few weeks, I'm going to be more concerned.
Why didn't they play him more snaps? That's more concerning to me. It's like Fangio, he hasn't impressed Fangio enough that Brandon Graham's going to get more snaps.
It is a concern, man. And look, Fangio's been honest with us since he got here. And what did he say? He's been telling us Bryce Huff's not ready to play every down.
That's a misjudgment. And they went out and got that guy.
And I've said to you before,
because they thought it was going to be an improvement.
You look at Howie Roseman's history. Outside of drafting Josh Sweat.
Fair criticism.
In 2018.
Yep.
And then signing Hassan Reddick a couple years ago, he misses on edge rushers.
Yeah, 12 o'clock hour brought to us by Service First Heat and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months. $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Some text on the Eagles, what you're saying in text form, and also 610-632-0975 if you want to give us a call on the telephone. Back after this. Colarulo, produced by Ray Dunn. Ray, we got some text, and then we have some new information on Tyreek Hill that I want to get into, which will turn into a discussion. I don't know how these things continue to happen, but we'll have to go through it the blow by blow to get an explanation on how something like this could happen, where he would be handcuffed and placed on the belly down on the street on the side of the highway. But let's see. We have some Eagles text today. The text board lighting up about the bird situation, which Friday, tough to process it a couple days later. But what do we have, Ray?
All right, we got Norm from Mayfair. Hurts will be fine with all of the weapons he has to use. How bad the Browns must feel now after letting Baker leave and being stuck with Watson.
I don't know. Baker was a bargain. Like, what are we talking about here? I mean, he's all right. It's he
had a good game against the Commanders.
It'll go down and listen. Does he have a chance to come back? I guess he does. He's a talented enough player. But if he doesn't, this might be the worst decision any team could ever make with what they had to pay for that.
Yeah, what they gave up to trade for him,
what
and
they
the contract.
It's mind-boggling if he is not a franchise quarterback.
And it looks like the Eagles and Roseman dodged a bullet because they were in on that.
They were in on it. They liked it. And, there was a lot to like early on in his career. All right, Ray, what else?
Hurts looked rusty on Friday. Should have played in the preseason. I mean, you have plenty of other starters playing like Mahomes despite back-to-back titles.
Can we stop with that crap? I'm so over it. I heard, I think Andrew this morning too, with the preseason. Can we just stop? Do we really think that 3 weeks ago, Jalen Hurts playing one series was going to make the world of difference? That if he would have thrown 2 passes in a preseason game, that he wouldn't have had the interception he had on Friday night? Like, they have a very good opening day record. We've talked about this before. Sirianni 4-0 on opening day. You got the win. They were rusty because that's what happens in week 1. Even if they would have played in the preseason, it's not changing anything.
Plus, can you believe that people think that if he had played one series, that would have made a difference?
I know what you're doing here.
Oh,
I know what you're doing.
Did you just say that? Oh, I'm
For the people just tuning in, they don't understand what you're doing.
Well, earlier in the show, I did a little bit called Around the NFL. And Around the NFL number 5, I don't know, can we replay that? Let's see if we can replay that, and this is what, and then let's see, right? Let's grab the segment, and then can we grab Bill's reaction after the item?
That may take him a minute to pull.
It may, but we'll keep people in suspense over that.
All right,
all right, because I can't replicate it. It has to be live replicated, or at least audio on tape.
And the YouTube chat vote is going up in your favor.
Now, you're getting destroyed. So what are people saying, Bill? That
people want me replaced.
People want...
I mean, seriously. So one mistake, and they want me replaced already.
It's not enough for you to be replaced. It's just, it's amusing to me more than anything because this has happened. Your ADD kicks in, you fade out. I have a friend who does it. My friend Kevin is like this. You can be talking about one thing to him, and then he's on to another tangent, and we're coming back to the conversation, and he's off. Like, it's interesting how people are different that way, and you're just a different guy. Your mind is racing to the next thought. Yeah. And in this case, you're obsessed with this YouTube chat, and so when I'm talking, sometimes you're tuned out.
Yeah, it's probably not smart that I'm in charge of the YouTube chat.
And your wife has the same complaints about you, apparently.
Yeah, she does.
That you just kind of fade out.
Yes. I do have a little bit of a problem with that.
All right. It's just been the news of Jeff Darlington, who covers the NFL. Actually, Jeff Darlington was the guy who was reporting that Scotty Scheffler situation way back when. And he tweets out, per sources, Tyreek Hill received 2 citations as a result of his traffic stop Sunday. Careless driving and a seatbelt violation. Calais Campbell said after the game, police told what would they be talking to Calais Campbell?
He stopped at the scene to help, and they put Campbell in handcuffs.
Oh, okay, all right. So Calais Campbell stopped. They put him in handcuffs also.
Correct.
Because police told him they briefly placed him in handcuffs for quote disobeying a direct order, and Calais Campbell did not end up receiving a citation. So. Let's take this apart here and explain this whole thing. All right, there is no question in my mind that a black person has an inherent mistrust of police authority. Now, you can deny that all you want. You can put your head in it's real, okay, and it's the truth. So a guy like Tyreek Hill, who I'm assuming is an A-type personality, he's been involved in a lot of controversial situations, probably immediately has his back up right away when ordered to do something by a police officer. Now, what could he have been ordered to do? He could have been ordered to roll down his window and refused. He could have been ordered to give me your license and registration and refused. At that point, I assume police protocol is, okay, get out of the car. And they get out of the car, and now he's an unruly person who they need to put in handcuffs, which I don't understand why that could happen. I don't understand, so I don't know enough of the particulars, whether he gave them a license or a registration or what. If he did give him a license and a police officer doesn't recognize the name, and he also says, I'm just the Miami Dolphins player, I'm trying to get to the stadium. Maybe that's what caused the reckless driving, that he was in a hurry to get to the stadium. Where it should not end up is where it ended up. And I don't care what anybody say, well, what police protocol is. It's a situation that probably should be diffused before it gets to that point with a conversation. Who are you? Where are you going? Whatever. And once the police officer finds out where he's going, he's going, okay, listen, Mr. Hill, we're going to have to give you a citation because you don't have your seatbelt on. And you were so we're going to write the ticket and we can send you on your way. Isn't that the way it should happen?
Yeah, I mean, look, we were not there. From what I saw on the video, I think you're right on what occurred. When they came to the window, it looked like he had only cracked it. And he's telling them, put your window down or I'm going to break the windows. I think what the police officer said.
Okay.
And then he said, you know what? Get out of the car. I mean, that was the video I saw.
Which is what you see if you ever watched Cops, which I watch all the time. That seems to be the protocol when somebody will dispatch. They'll get you out of the car.
Yeah.
But, but I don't get where. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just.
What this showed me.
It's overzealous.
Is Miami fans aren't as good as Philadelphia. Because there's no way if a cop pulled over A.J. Brown in the city of Philadelphia, they're not saying, all right, get to the damn stadium. Yeah, Tyreek Hill was a block away from Hard Rock Stadium.
They're not releasing the video of this because they say it's an internal investigation. They can't provide the details, blah, blah, blah. But one of the officers on the scene remains on administrative duty. Now, there are three. How many police officers were there?
More than three.
More than three.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me there's not one person that could speak sanely about this before it gets to the point where you handcuff a guy and put him on the ground? Was there a gun involved? No. It was a traffic violation. And maybe he got his back up because it's a natural instinct for a guy like Tyreek Hill to object to authority ordering him around.
I'm not agreeing with the police. I'm not agreeing with Tyreek Hill. We really don't know.
No, we don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of speculation.
Full disclosure, you come from a police family. Your dad was a police chief.
My dad was a police officer, yes. It's just, for me, we didn't see enough to be able to speculate what happened, what occurred, what didn't occur. I mean, you're also assuming they knew who he was. You don't.
Well,
they don't know any of that.
They don't? You mean to tell me that there's not one officer who would see that guy, Tyreek Hill, he plays for the Dolphins? Not one officer would know that. I find that hard to believe. What, are they all not sports fans? The Dolphins are huge down there.
Yeah, I'm not saying I
like Scotty
disagree
Scheffler.
with your
You don't
point.
know who Scotty Scheffler is, and you're covering a golf tour. Like, what? I don't understand how that's possible.
It did, from what the videos we saw, it looked very bad what they did to Tyreek Hill. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to speculate not knowing what occurred. It did look bad, though. I mean, when you see the video, it's like, why is Tyreek Hill on the ground? Why? So, we'll see. I'm hoping the body cam footage comes out, but they're not going to release it, you said?
Well, it's not released yet. So, it's not released. I'm assuming they're circling the wagons here, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, let's go to Jay in West Philly. Jay, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jay.
Hey, you're right, Mike. You're about the only person in the city that will talk about that situation. We know exactly what happened. They was upset, and like you said, we know what goes on in this country with me as a black person and us as black people with cops.
Yeah, you have an inherent mistrust.
Exactly.
You do, and for good reason. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. So in that kind of situation, the officers should absolutely take inventory of that.
Exactly. They don't care. That's why they're in the authority, and they think they better than somebody, and they could do this, that, and the third. And like you said, that like Bill, you talking because you come from a cop family. Oh, we don't know what happened, but it looked bad. We know exactly what it was.
Listen, I have talked to many black parents, and like they have the conversation with their children, where they say, "Here's what you do: you put your hand on the wheel, you do this." Blah, blah. A guy like Tyreek Hill, who's an A-type personality, he's going to react a different way.
Hey, Mike, I had to ask you a question. What you doing over here? Where you at? I'm on 95. What kind of question is that?
I get it. I've talked to many people about this kind of a situation. I've talked to police officers as well. I know what their job is. I get it. I get it what the protocol is. It shouldn't end up it's a traffic violation, and it should end up with somebody being handcuffed on the road.
Mike, what they be doing, that's not protocol. A traffic violation is
the protocol is when you disobey an order, they pull you out of the car, they handcuff you. I get all that. I've seen all that. I know that that's a protocol. But in this particular situation,
disobey the order.
Yeah, I get it. I understand it. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I hear you. All right, talk to me about Jalen Hurts, Jay.
Hey, look, I think you're going to be all right, man. Look, it was a sloppy game, and if he still scored 34 points, we got enough offense to outweigh these mistakes, but he's going to learn. He's going to get better in it. And like I said, when he got structure, Kellen Moore going to help him out.
I get it, but here's the problem, Jay. He had 20 turnovers last year. He comes into his first game, he makes 2 stupid mistakes that turn into turnovers that he should learn from because he had 20 turnovers last year. Like, there's got to be some kind of progression where you don't make a throw like that. None of the great ones would do that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He made 2 really big mistakes. There was a couple more that could have been interceptions. He has to get better. But the good thing is, all of the things that we were concerned about, how is he going to be against the blitz? He was very good. Are they going to utilize the middle of the field? They did. How are they going to do with pre-snap motion? Very good with pre-snap motion. How about the throw to Saquon Barkley? We're giving Saquon a bunch of credit. How about that throw in the corner of the end zone? That's on the money, man. I mean, that's Jalen Hurts. So, yes, there's things he needs to improve.
He did some great things.
He did some great things. And that's all I wanted in week 1. Yes, he needs to clean up the turnovers, but he did some great things.
But the turnovers are the most important thing. Like, you can't turn the ball over like he did last year.
I agree, but it's 1 week. If this continues over the next few weeks, then I'll be on board with you. But right now, I'm chalking it up to as a week 1. Rusty game, sloppy game.
But you can't chalk it up to game 1. Here's why. Because when you ended the season, the one thing that you had to improve on was your decision-making and where you can't turn the football over in the NFL. They had just had an entire training camp where he didn't throw an interception. But when you get in a game, your brain says it's a good idea to throw it down the middle of the field where 3 guys can converge. Or when you're rolling out, you're going to throw it across your body. Like, where's the learning curve taking you?
I'm with you. It's a terrible throw.
You're not with me. You're not with me.
Let's play it out then. What do you want to do? Are we going to Kenny Pickett?
I don't know.
We going to Kenny Pickett?
No,
you calling for Kenny Pickett already?
I'm not calling for Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying you're letting this off the hook too easy. It plays into the worst possible problem that he had last year.
Turnovers. Yes, he's got to protect the ball better. I'm with you. It's just there was a lot more good than bad in that game.
Okay. A little earlier, I did a bit called Around the NFL. In that bit, I talked about Tyreek Hill and how he made it part of his celebration to get handcuffed by a teammate and walk off. Let's play the audio sequence on how this transpired live on the radio. Hill scores an electric 80-yard touchdown. His celebration, he had a teammate fake like he was putting handcuffs on him. Dios mío.
A few moments later.
Did you see the touchdown highlight you played? Didn't Waddle come up and put Hill in handcuffs as the touchdown celebration?
Ray, did you listen to what I just said?
Yeah, I did.
Was that part of my highlight?
That was a part of your highlight.
What are you doing?
Okay, if you listen to that clip.
Hold on a second. His response is seconds after I finished the highlight. Seconds.
And if you listen to it, I think now I have an argument. I was asking, was it Jalen Waddle that put him in handcuffs?
You weren't.
That was not a part of the original highlight.
You were
that
saying,
was not a part of the original highlight.
Did you say where Jalen Waddle?
I have to give him credit, though. You finding a spin out of this was pretty impressive there.
Yes.
That was a very impressive lie.
Jalen Waddle was not mentioned in your highlight. I asked the question, did you see, was it Jalen Waddle that did that?
Hill scores an electric 80-yard touchdown. His celebration, he had a teammate fake like he was putting handcuffs on him. Dios mío.
A few moments later.
Did you see the touchdown highlight you played? Didn't Waddle come up and put Hill in handcuffs as the touchdown celebration? So I'm asking if it was Waddle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Lindbergh just completed his transatlantic flight. Bill? Hey, did you see where Charles Lindbergh completed his transatlantic flight?
Hold on, can we talk about the fact, though, that little snafu, is that what it's called? Snafu, is that the word?
Snafu.
That little thing, people are already coming at me on Twitter to be replaced here? I mean, really? Over that?
I'm going to pound this and encourage more of those.
Yeah, I know. My God. We are a ruthless city.
Yannick Sinner defeated Taylor Fritz in the U.S. Open final yesterday. Hey, Mike, did you see where Yannick Sinner defeated?
Oh, man.
Let's go to Andy in Lambertville. What's up, Andy?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you. I wanted to talk about the Eagles' defense, but real quick, Mike, I want to thank you because I always have my pen ready. My buddy C.L. Pedro and I have our pens ready for your picks. Texas, Nebraska, Vikings, Browns not so much.
Yeah, man.
But I'll give you a shout-out to Bill Colorulo on the Houston. I parlayed the Houston and the Saints.
Yeah, he had that one going, and I tried to talk about it. But Bill, tell the people what I also had written down on my pad in college football that I did not put out there.
I know it's written in ink, so I could see it. He had Syracuse over Georgia Tech.
Ooh,
with Kyle McCord going off.
Nice.
Syracuse.
But he didn't have the confidence to say it on the air, Mike.
Well, I didn't want to give too many college picks.
I don't know. If you would have said, I wouldn't have listened anyway. I wouldn't have heard it anyway.
I know. You wouldn't have heard it.
So, in terms of the violation, hey, Mike, did you see that Syracuse-Georgia Tech game?
All right, Andy. Come on, man.
Yeah, apparently they had a quarterback named Kyle McCord.
I'm not going to live this one down.
Eagles defense, man. Eagles defense, I got a couple of 4 players with question marks, and I want to go through them real quickly, and then I'll hang up. I want to hear your opinion, of course. First question mark, Huff on the outside. I know the field was a little goofy. He can't get around the edge because he's trying to dip that shoulder and turn the corner. You see him slipping all over the place. If you take that move away, I don't know what you got there. Second player, Bond. He played outstanding. I remember we talked about the signing in the offseason. We thought to ourselves, like, who the heck is this guy? He showed out. He was balling.
He did.
Third player, N'Kobe Dean. I thought Dean played pretty well. He got burned on a couple plays, but he made a couple good plays as well. So, and then the last player, Q Mitchell.
Yeah, good.
I thought
played
he
well.
Played a really
played very
good
well.
game.
Yes, he did. I agree with all those assessments. Huff on the field, I'm not going to give him that out. The Kobe Dean had some moments, but he also had some really goofy moments where he got sucked in on that one play. Bond was exceptional. Those guys. Well, did they bring the 2-inch cleats to Brazil?
They must have.
Yeah, I don't think they did. They were slipping around.
Now, I don't love Pro Football Focus. I don't think they always get it right. But out of every single player on the defense that they graded, N'Kobe Dean was the worst graded defender.
Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes.
He got a 29 overall grade out of 100.
That's not good. That's not good. All right, we're going to roll into the 1 o'clock hour here on the Mike Missanelli Show. 610-632-0975. Back after this. Certainly not throw across your body. Those are things that should never happen, and they have. Now, again, he made a couple really good throws towards the end of the game that's to seal this victory. But I didn't come away from it saying, well, I'm really comfortable with Jalen Hurts. I'm still on a flat line with him, as I am with Sirianni. He's going to have to show me more.
Bill have been pleading their cases.
My concern is not Jordan Love here. Like, I don't give a flip what Jordan Love does. This is the guy that I need to carry this team home. I can't look at it like, well, look at the rest of the league. I'm making mistakes. I can't have my guy make a mistake.
I'm with you. What I'm saying is this is what you get in week one. Now, if this continues...
Bill, this is fundamental. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with having a new offensive coordinator. It's fundamental. I can't make that throw. It's a personal decision in your head.
And I'm with you.
You're not with me.
I'm with
Ray,
you.
Is he with me?
Doesn't sound like it.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
1 o'clock hour. It's brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, Lion Conklin. Attention, HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, supplies for every heating and cooling job. Just visit one of Ferguson's current locations: Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Yeah, Bill has a tendency to throw "I'm with you" out there just to dismiss me. Have you noticed this, Ray? I'm on to him already. Yeah, I'm with you. You're not with me at all.
Yeah, in that
You're not
clip,
with me. You're just patronizing me.
In that clip, I was the one dismissive.
No,
right? In that clip that just played, it was me.
I'm with you. You're not with me. You have the exact opposite opinion. It's the first game and blah, 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 blah. All right, so let's get into some of the Eagles-Packers reviews that we dug into a little earlier in this show. All right, so I'm looking at this game and I'm going, okay. One thing I wanted to see was the defense. I was very curious to see the defense under Vic Fangio, whether it would be a little more active. And I go, wow, the first period, they're smashing people. I like this. They're aggressive. And then it almost like they got tired or something. I don't know what happened, but they lost that edge that they had in the first quarter. And then the rest of the game, they didn't really get any pressure on the quarterbacks from the edges, which is really something I wanted to see, especially with Huff in there now. I was curious to see whether that was going to make any kind of a difference. It really did not. Now, their two best players in that game were Saquon and Zach Bond. There's no question. If they didn't have both those players, maybe they lose that game. Both those players carried them. Zach Bond had 15 tackles. He was all over the field defensively. And Saquon, 24 carries they gave him. We talked about on Friday. He'd probably be limited to like 12 carries. No. They're going full bore. They're not pussyfooting around now with they get a three-man rotation in here, and we give our main guy 12 carries to preserve him like they did with DeAndre Swift last year. So that, to me, was all good. I liked it. The defense was good early. I see some potential. They weren't that great late until they made that stop of Green Bay, which forced them to kick a field goal instead of a touchdown that would have taken the lead. Now, Hurts, the numbers look decent. The rating isn't that great, because he turned it over 3 times. Now, the one wasn't his fault with the snap at Cam Jurgen. He got Cam's face after that. You see that? He said, I said F. Now, that must have been the call, like F. I don't know what F means, but he did say that, right? I know what F means regularly. I don't think Jalen was using the F as a true F. He was using it as a letter.
Of when you're supposed to snap it.
Right.
There was going to be a specific word as to when, because he's calling out things. They're doing some different hard counts and stuff like that. That one was on Cam, clearly, because nobody else moved.
Yeah.
Only Cam Jurgen snapped the ball. No one moved on the offensive line.
Exactly.
So, but look, I keep going back to there was a lot more good than bad in this football game. Specifically with Jalen Hurts, I still think there was a lot more good. He was good against the blitz. He was good at calling blitz protections. He threw the ball over the middle of the field. He carried the team when he had to at the end of the game. As far as the defense goes, yeah, I'm with you. Here I go again when I'm with you. But I'm with you on the edge rushers. You didn't see much from Bryce Huff. You didn't see much from Nolan Smith. But there was a lot of good on that defense. To be able to hold the Green Bay Packers 0 for 2 in the red zone in the first quarter after 2 bad turnovers by the Eagles offense. It's a different football game. If they let in 2 touchdowns, it's over.
They were really good in the first period. Right? They weren't real good until the end of the game when they had to be. They did stop Green Bay from scoring a touchdown. That was impressive that they held them to a field goal there. So, listen, I'm satisfied with the result. I really am. And when I first looked at this game, I said, the Packers closed that season a little better than the Eagles. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles lost that game. Then I kind of thought about it a little more, and I did pick the Eagles to win the game. So I'm satisfied with the result of being 1-0. They're carpeting Green Bay, though, about one of our defensive tackles and a cheap shot. They're saying it was a cheap shot on Jordan Love, who's now going to be out a few weeks. He's got a strained MCL. What did you think of that?
It's not a dirty play. And I'm trying to be objective. I watched it again a couple of times, trying not to be more looking at it through green-colored glasses, being an Eagles fan. The guy's trying to make a play. He's on the ground. Jordan Love is trying to break away from the tackle, and he goes to grab anything he can to pull him down to the ground. It just so happens somebody else is hitting him at the same time. It's not a dirty play. It's a football play.
Okay.
Did you think it was dirty?
No, I didn't think it was dirty. It's a shame because I don't like to see that happen to the kid. But I didn't think it was dirty. Now, we get back to the Eagles quarterback. Yeah, he made some key throws. I liked a lot of the stuff he did. But again, I can't get past, it's still scary to me that he would still make 2 stupid decisions to throw the ball up for grabs and turn that into a pick twice. And that's the thing that I don't want to see anymore with this guy. Because I saw enough last year. It killed them last year.
It wasn't just those 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You look at the one he threw before the really bad interception, when he threw it towards the flat. That could have been a pick 6 the other way.
Yeah.
That was a bad decision as well. Once the throw wasn't there originally, you got to get away from that. He threw it way too late, and it almost resulted in a pick 6 the other way. His decision-making has to be better. But, see, you and I just don't agree that this could also be rust. You're saying that's something he should already be able to figure out because it's just decision-making.
It is. It's a mental thing. It's not rust. It's a programmed mental thing that you, as a quarterback in this league, you cannot do.
What this brought me back to, and Ray, it may have been you who tweeted this. I can't remember. A lot of what you read in the Tim McManus, Jeremy Fowler article in the offseason was that last year Jalen Hurts tried to play hero ball at times. To me, that's what he was doing when he threw those 2 interceptions.
That's not alarming to you?
It's
that
not
he's still trying to play hero ball?
It's not as alarming because I think that's something you could fix. It will be alarming if it continues, but that's something that can be fixed.
But how could it not be fixed coming into the season? That's my point. The emphasis has to be on that. He turned it over 20 times last year doing some stuff like that. That's my problem. That's something that should definitely be cured. It's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. Jalen, you cannot do something like that.
And I'm sure that's what they're telling him. But when you look at all the other factors in this game,
I think you're letting him off the hook.
I feel a lot better about
You're letting him off the hook, I think.
We let him off the hook.
It's got a David on his cell. David, you're on 97.5.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, David?
There's no mental thing with Jalen Hurts. I watched all the football games yesterday, and the exact same play happened when he threw the ball in the end zone. It got intercepted. It was 3 of the other team right there. Got the ball. It was an identical play. The only difference was, Mike, and this is why I love you, but this is what you're doing wrong, Mike. You're not taking into account that the man fell. His own teammate fell.
Yeah, I know, but it's
all them ifs.
but it's still an across your body throw that shouldn't be done there.
Oh, not that one. That's not the one. When he was in the end zone, was it the cross the body?
Yeah, that was the cross the body throw.
Wait, which one you talking about? You talking about the one when he was in the red zone or from his own end zone?
Yeah, from when they took the ball from Jalen and them in their end zone, when he threw the ball and it got intercepted. The receiver
that was the one that was across his body.
Yeah, but the receiver fell on the ground, and people act like that didn't happen.
No. The receiver didn't fall on the ground enough to make that an interception. The throw, the throw was the interception. No. Come on, man. Let's be fair about that. The throw was the interception. Not because
might not have caught it.
You saw the play, right?
Yes.
Okay, it was a foolish decision that wound up as an interception because he was throwing across his body the opposite way. That's the point. That's the thing you don't do. Whether it could have turned into a touchdown.
Mike, I can't argue with that fact, but you know you don't throw across the body. I don't want to waste. You know that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like the object of throwing across your body is where it should not should click in mentally.
Quick things about him, right? He threw 38 passes. He threw 2 bad ones, basically, because we keep saying the other ones they didn't get picked. But the 2 bad ones he threw, he's going to be better. This is the first game. I mean,
listen, I hope he's going to be better, and I'm not saying he's not going to get better. I can only react to what I saw. Okay, I'm reacting like I'm not reacting. Well, he's going to be better. I'm reacting to what I saw. 2 foolish mistakes that he can't make.
Third highest number in points.
Where for the week?
For the first game, yeah.
Come on, man.
Yo, hey, and let me ask you this before we close.
All right, go ahead.
I was talking about the police officers. I'm Afro-American, and I know what the police do. But guess what? We can't live without the police. We need them, and most of them are good.
Well, all right, I agree with that. I'm not commenting on the state of policedom in this country. I'm commenting on this particular incident. I don't see where it needed to be escalated to that kind of thing. 610-632-0975. Back after this. Mike Missanelli Show. 610-632-0975. I want to mention this. It ties into. I just got a couple of pictures texted to me by my buddy from Calgary. So I was driving on Westchester Pike yesterday, coming back from my baseball game, and Westchester Pike was the traffic was being diverted. So people coming from one direction were diverted coming into one lane, which was the lane, the two-lane highway it was in. So our highway was cut down to one lane, and the people from the other side were coming. It was diverted completely, and traffic was diverted into the passing lane of the two-lane highway I was in. And I'm going, what is going on here? And then I realized that there was a wake yesterday at a funeral home in Broomall, the D'Angelo or something like that funeral home, and I realized it was the wake for the Gaudreau brothers, and it was not a public wake. It was for family and I guess friends, and I'm talking about hundreds of people were trying to, and that's why the police were diverting the traffic, because there were so many people that were coming in there, and my buddy just sent me. My buddy Marty is the director of photography for Monday Night Raw, WWE, and they're in Calgary tonight. And he sent me 2 pictures of the Saddle Dome out there, the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. The landscape of the stadium is covered with tributes to Johnny Gaudreau, who played there in Calgary for many years. This is one of the saddest stories that I've ever been around. That family going through what they're going, losing the 2 brothers who were husbands and fathers, and it's just a heartbreaking story.
It's terrible. Words can't even describe the tragedy that it was.
Yeah, no, and the attention that's coming around, it just makes your heart sink. I feel so bad for the family with this loss, and forget about the sports fans that. Obviously, he meant a lot in Calgary. He probably means a lot in Columbus as well. Something like that, really. And he was a good kid. That's the worst part of it. Like, they were both really good kids, from all accounts.
Yeah, it's a shame. And they did so much for the South Jersey hockey community. You showed me the picture during the break at Calgary Arena.
It's unbelievable.
You go
the
over
tributes, the jerseys that are thrown on the ground, and all the way around, up and down the hill that leads to the arena.
If you go over to the Hollydale Ice Arena, where his dad was running that place for a long time, taught me how to play ice hockey. They have a similar type of memorial out front of all the kids putting their sticks out, and it's just tragic, man. There's just no words.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to bring down the show, but I didn't know that they were going to have the wake. The funeral is today in Media, the church in Media, I believe. But the wake was yesterday. And the ties that they have to Media and Broomall, I'm not quite sure I understand what they are, but because they were Jersey kids. But apparently the families, there's a lot of family that was on this side in Delaware County.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either because I knew they were South Jersey guys, but yeah, hearts go out to everybody who's affected by it.
All right, 610-632-0975. We're talking about what you saw on Friday with the Eagles. I was totally satisfied with the result. They had enough to be better than that team. So that convinces me that they're at least better than the Packers. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with this team. I can't tell how good they are as far as the overall scope of things. I saw a Dallas team that was pretty good. The Giants in Washington, they should just retire the season. Both of them stink. This hype for the Washington Commanders has to make me laugh.
I've been guilty of having hype with the Commanders.
You love
but
the Commanders hype, too.
I kept saying not this year, but I do think they're going to improve, and I think you're going to see it. You saw some good things from Jaden Daniels, and they've changed a lot. The Commanders are going through a whole new coaching staff change, and just I'm not worried about them this year, but they will be better.
The Giants.
But I'll tell you, you know what I'm worried about? We didn't talk about him at all today. I thought Avonte Maddox was a major liability on the field. Terrible. And what surprised me was they wanted to keep Quinyon Mitchell outside is, I guess, the reason why Keely Ringo didn't get in. See, I thought the plan would have been you have Ringo play because Isaiah Rodgers couldn't play. He had the hand injury. Mm-hmm. You have Ringo play outside, slide Quinion to the nickel. It looked as if they didn't want to do that. They kept Quinion outside, so they let Avonte Maddox play the nickel. He was a major liability all day. So hopefully Isaiah Rodgers can get healthy.
He'll get hurt, in a couple plays anyway. So he'll be replaced eventually.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And maybe Cooper DeJean starting to get back into form. He'll get some playing time. But Quinion Mitchell, what shocked me the most is you got a kid that comes out of a small program like Toledo. And you see him out there, man. He plays with that swagger, that chip on his shoulder. That's what you want in a defensive back. Because you watched the game last night. The Detroit Lions drafted Arnold right after Quinion. And you're going to constantly compare the two. Arnold looked a little bit like a deer in headlights at times. Did you see him out there?
Yeah. Quinion Mitchell was good enough to get to another school, though. He decided to stay at Toledo. He was being recruited through the portal a lot.
He was, but it's impressive that he never played against that higher caliber of opponent, and yet
you don't
doesn't
think that
back down
league
at all.
is higher caliber now after Notre Dame went down to a team in that league and Bowling Green pressed Penn State? You disrespecting the MAC conference? Oh, Notre Dame fan, I feel so sorry for you now. Your season's over, effectively. At home.
You got a lot of bravado today after barely beating Bowling Green.
Oh, my God. No, I'm not comparing it to Penn State. I'm just saying you can't lose at home. Like, if Penn State had lost at home to Bowling Green, what do you think I would be saying today?
If Penn State lost to Bowling Green?
Yeah. Season's over. Yeah. I would say the season's over.
It's got to be over for Notre Dame.
I have to say it's over for Notre Dame.
It has to be because they can't win their conference because they don't have a conference.
One of our esteemed colleagues here who does some shows here is a big Notre Dame guy. His name is Mike Cooney. We all love him.
Kevin Cooney.
I'm sorry, Kevin Cooney.
You know his name.
Kevin. There's Mike Cooney that I know. But anyway, it's a Kevin Cooney. So Kevin apparently was getting into a Twitter war with some other part-time talk show host who's been around for forever, whose name I won't mention. But it's funny how Notre Dame people fight for themselves. I'm sorry, Kevin, you got disarmed. Like, you can't say anything, right? You have nothing. When your team loses to Northern Illinois University, you can't say anything. You got to take the L.
Especially when your season's basically over after 2 weeks.
All right, 610-632-0975. We're back after this. They just hired a new lead singer. Now, did you see this?
No, I didn't see this.
All right, this is a controversy now. I'm glad you played Linkin Park. Chester Bennington was the lead singer, and he had the voice of an angel, and he committed suicide. So the Linkin Park kind of went away. They just hired a woman as their lead singer who kind of sounds like him a little bit. But she's involved in a controversy of her own. She was a supporter of that Danny Masterson guy who was he was in that show. What was he in?
That 70s show?
That 70s show. And he got put away for 30 years for rape and whatever. And she was one of his supporters who showed up at the courtroom in support of it. So there's all this controversy now. Like, why would Linkin Park hire her to be their lead singer?
I'm assuming they were aware of it, right?
They had to be aware of it.
Emily Armstrong.
Yeah, Emily Armstrong is her name. And there's all kinds of backlash. Now, people are hating on Linkin Park for, they're trying to make a comeback with this woman as their lead singer.
Yeah, singer admits she attended the convicted actor's pretrial hearing, but has not spoken with him since. Unimaginable details emerged, and he was later found guilty, she said. So she hasn't spoke to him since she found the details. What she's saying.
All kinds of backlash towards this woman. So I don't know if that was a wise choice because how do they shrug that off? It's always going to be there with this woman.
You're a big music guy.
I am.
So I don't know the full details of Emily Armstrong and what happened with this whole thing, but to me it seems like a little bit of a violation to even try to replace this guy, considering that he committed suicide. And he was such a big part. The lyrics were about his mental health issues, and
some of them were.
It's almost as if you just start a new band and don't associate it.
I become so numb, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like she can't sing those songs.
But, I thought Linkin Park was, a lot of people hate them, but I thought they were a solid band. So they have the right to continue, don't they? Just like Journey had the right to continue. Just like Alice in Chains tried to continue at Lane Staley, but that quite didn't work.
Yeah, but Journey, how did the lead singer pass away? I can't remember.
He didn't. Steve Perry just left the band.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't pass away.
I couldn't remember him dying.
My point is that bands have a right to continue on, don't they?
They do, but when
it's a matter of whether you want to see him or not. Like, I have no interest in any kind of replacement.
Yeah, but to me, it just seems to me, Linkin Park, they maybe could have continued under a different name, different brand, than to try to recreate something where a lot of songs were about the
Linkin
mental health.
Park. They have a certain style
that the lead singer was a major part of.
Yeah, but so was their musical style was a certain way also. So if it's just like, I don't know, people don't miss Steve Perry. Apparently that guy sings just like Steve Perry. But to me, Journey without Steve Perry is not Journey, so I'm out.
Can you get that high?
Can
you get your voice as high as the Journey singer?
I can get up there a little bit.
Really?
I can do a little falsetto. It's interesting you bring up music.
Falsetto?
Because I was coming in today and I heard a song. I'm glad you led me into this. My musical taste comes in layered. Like I layer, the time of music, I layer new on top of it. So the layer I laid on top of my musical interest in the late 80s was called New Wave.
I know where you're going.
And there was a radio station that popped up in Philadelphia that played all New Wave. So we're talking about bands like Depeche Mode, The Cure, stuff like that, right?
Friday, I'm in love.
Right.
You like that song, right?
So this one New Wave band was from Germany. I want to play this for you. I want to see if you give it whether you give it a thumbs up. The band was called Falco from Germany, and the song is called Der Kommissar, but they do it in German. And if you'll notice, if you listen to this song, in German, it doesn't rhyme. But they also recorded it in English where it rhymes. Does anybody remember this song? He'll start singing it. He kind of raps it.
I remember the English version, not the German version.
You remember the English version. But in German, it's more pure.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, na, es ist nichts dabei, nur wenn ich euch erzähl die Geschichte. Nichtsdestotrotz,
the only thing I understand is how he goes, huh!
so rein und weiß und jede Nacht hat ihren Preis. Sie sagt, to the sweet, you got rap to the heat. Ich verstehe, sie ist heiß. Sie sagt, well, you know,
The chorus.
Right, I'm still trying to figure out how his brain works.
Yeah, really, it's like
I've never been more lost.
No, get to the chorus because he goes, "Don't turn around." No, in English, it's "Don't turn around." Well, listen to it in German. Trick it. Der Kommissar de Boom. But anyway,
Right, hold on. I want you to picture Mike Missanelli driving to the station today, and then this song comes on, and he's like, "I want to play this today."
Oh my God, this is Falco. I heard this song in forever, and this was right in my new wave wheelhouse. What are the chances?
Oh man,
what are the chances we talk about music? The segue here was beautiful.
It was a beautiful
We were just
segue.
talking about during the commercial, Pitbull.
Little Pitbull.
Are you a Pitbull man?
So I was never a huge Pitbull fan.
Uh-huh.
But Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 54 in Miami. Andy Reid's first Super Bowl victory. I was at that Super Bowl. The NFL did their tailgate before the game, and Pitbull was the talent. I didn't realize how many songs he has that has you shaking your ass, man. I mean, he had that place going. Pitbull's fun, dude.
Pitbull is the perfect, I'm out somewhere and this song's on, I'm going to enjoy it.
Dude, he had that whole place at the tailgate going nuts before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome, again, I'm out, having a good time type of song. I'm not necessarily flipping him on by choice, but if it pops on at a bar, you better believe, as you like to say, the gyrations are coming out to that type of music.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't do the Pitbull thing.
You don't get down with
No, I don't get it.
Mr. 305?
Yeah.
Fireball.
Yeah.
You know you get your ass shaken, Mike.
Listen, I can imagine that his concerts are a party. I go to a concert, I like to listen. Like I don't go for the party.
Don't stop the party.
Yeah, that's the difference. I'm there for the party.
Yeah.
Well, because you're a kid. Now, my music will tell you, I layer it. Like I said before, like it went from new wave, then grunge layered on top of it.
Yeah.
And then that 90s rock where you had Smashing Pumpkins, Garbage, Third Eye Blind, all those that took you through the 90s. And so now I layer with alt and indie. But I still keep all the other music that is part of my past. You know what I'm saying?
I do. But
and part of my past was
So you know I'm always checking out the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
So Randy B wants to know, are you also a huge David Hasselhoff guy?
No, I am not a David. Dave, I don't even know what he does, what he sings. I have no idea. Does he sing?
I guess it was the
singer?
German reference. I'm assuming there, right?
What? What's the German reference?
Is David Hasselhoff German?
I think so, right?
Is he big in Germany?
I don't know. Sounds. I mean, I think the name sounds.
He's an American guy who did Baywatch. What do we mean? Where does the German connection come from? Because his last name?
You spend more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, German background.
You know the movie?
No, I don't. No,
Ray, you know that. This guy spends more time in the sand than David Hasselhoff. What movie?
Oh.
They're making a sequel.
No, you got missed.
I don't know.
Happy Gilmore. Come on.
There you go.
It's Shooter McGavin's line that he uses all the time.
You got it. You got it. That's tough miss by us on that one.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff ran on the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shooter.
I got it. I mean, yeah. All right. That's my bad. I didn't know that. All right. Well, then we got a Jalen Hurts text. Before we go back to the phones, let's go with the Jalen Hurts text. What are people saying about Jalen? They're not worried?
Ooh, no, this is the exact opposite.
Oh, okay.
We got an unnamed texter saying he's never going to stop playing hero ball. He thinks rules don't apply to him because he played an incredible Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Come on.
Listen, I'm not criticizing him in general. I'm just criticizing one part, which bothered me last year, which was the main theme coming into this year. Turned the ball over a lot. You know, he was a league leader in turning the ball over. So the one thing that I thought I could expect was that would be cured. The mental thing of not trying to risk stupid throws. That's all.
And that's what really, when you look at his numbers from last season, that was the main issue. And
it was.
But
and I think you're letting him off the hook a little bit.
I'm not letting him off the hook. I just look at the overall game that he played, and there was a lot more positive than negative, especially in areas that you went into that game and you would probably say there were 3 areas that you wanted to see Jalen improve, and I think he improved in 2 of the 3. So one of them was turnovers. Didn't improve there. But one was against the blitz. He was great against the blitz. 6 of 8, 75% completion rate.
That's good.
Threw a touchdown.
That's really good. All right, so let's trade it off then. The one thing he did was improved against the blitz, which he didn't do last year. And one thing he didn't do was the stupid turnover mindset throw. All right, so we're even. All right, that balances it out. Is that fair? You okay with that?
But there's a
Mr.
third.
Hertz?
There's a third area
what?
too. He tried to take advantage of the middle of the field. Something when you looked at last year's numbers, I think it was 5.7% of his throws were between the hashes, which was the lowest of any qualified quarterback last year. Well, 13 of his 34 pass attempts on Friday night were between the hashes. That's 38%. So that's an area where they're trying to improve.
Okay.
So I think there was
it's
more
2-1.
positive.
You actually win. You gave me 2-1 bad. So 2 he improved on, 1 he didn't.
Yeah, it was mostly decision-making was his problem, and that's what resulted in the turnovers.
All right. I can learn. Everything I take into my head is like, always under advisement.
Well, and I want to call you out on something that you said earlier.
All right, what are you going to call me out on?
Because you said you originally thought the Packers were going to win, but then you thought about it, you changed your mind, you went with the Eagles.
I did.
I think that it was me that changed your mind. Ray?
Maybe you did.
Right? I think
you flatter yourself too much.
I think I deserve the credit for changing Mike's mind on Friday.
Tell the world about the wonderful job that the head coach did, which you said a little earlier in the show. I want you to give the testimonials to the great coaching job that the head coach did. Go ahead. I'm going to give you this. I'm not even going to argue with it. Go ahead.
All right. I appreciate it because Nick Sirianni, you heard all summer long he's a clown. All summer long, the team stopped.
Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
That the team stopped playing for him. Well, they come out in this game. And I think the team was ready to play. You can flush the collapse from last season. But more importantly, he's 4-0 in season openers. In that first half, end of the half, Matt LaFleur uses all his timeouts. Nick Sirianni has all 3 left to go on a nice long drive to get points before the half. Good teams get points before half. In every single game you watch, the good teams will find ways to score right before the half. Nick Sirianni did it. He was appropriately aggressive, going for it on 4th down. In the first half, which was the great call, didn't come back to haunt them. But you look at Matt LaFleur, some bad decisions on Matt LaFleur's part. Went for it a 2-point conversion. Maybe that was the right call after the Jalen Carter offsides penalty. They took points off the board there. That could have came back to haunt him. Using all his timeouts early, could have came back to haunt him. Nick Sirianni, 2-0 against Matt LaFleur.
We are so lucky to have Nick Sirianni instead of Matt LaFleur. So lucky. Tonight, I'm going to go home. I'm going to light a sage bush, and just take it all in.
If you're made into a CEO type coach, then your job is to make sure that on game day you make the right decisions and you utilize good clock management. And the Eagles did that on Friday night. They did it. They did it at the end of the half in the first half, and they did it at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, going on that 7.5-minute drive, forcing Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers to use all their timeouts and not give them the ball back until 27 seconds. You got to give credit to the CEO coach. You have to. If you're going to blame him for the losses, he should share in the joy of the wins, should he not? That's my man right there, Nick Sirianni. He's just letting me keep going. Look, he's just letting me keep going about my man.
I got nothing. You're on a roll. Just keep going.
Well, like the YouTube chat, right?
What's the YouTube chat saying?
Bill, stop. He's still a clown. Bill, LMAO, stop glazing. It's embarrassing.
We do have a support text for you.
All right, good. Let me hear this because they're saying, call him a CEO again. It's embarrassing.
Right, what do you got?
We got Mark in Green Lane. Mike needs to lighten up on Bill. Bill has been nothing but very knowledgeable and a huge pleasure to listen to on the show.
Wow, who was it that wrote that in?
Mark in Green Lane.
Oh, that's my dad.
No,
I'm just kidding.
He's a huge pleasure to listen to, but he sometimes doesn't listen.
I don't listen to you.
Right, to me.
Yes.
All right.
That could
pleasure
be a
to
problem.
listen to, not a pleasure of listening to you.
You're a pleasure, Bill. And it is now time for our closing arguments.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenThalAbrams.com.
All right, my closing argument is fairly uncomplicated. And it is that I am very excited the Eagles won Game 1. Had they started off 0-1, that would have been problematic. We would have been picking them apart. Instead, they win, and they did enough to win, which tells me they are a little better team than the Green Bay Packers, and I'm happy about that. And I'm happy about a lot of things that I saw during the game. I'm happy about a ferocious defense that they showed in the first quarter. I wasn't that crazy about the defense in between that, but then I came back with it after they stopped Green Bay from scoring a touchdown to go ahead late in the game. So I'm okay with that side of the ball. And I'm okay with the wide receivers who came up with 200 more yards, both of them. I'm excited for the Penn State kid, Saquon Barkley, who is being left in the game to carry a football 24 times, which is something that I don't know about over the last couple of years with that rotation they used to have. And now let's get to the quarterback. Yes, made some nice throws. Handled his business on that last drive to cement this game. But it's going to bug me that a quarterback now who's been in the league as long as he has, in the first game, decided to throw the ball up for grabs not once, but twice, where he didn't have a prayer to complete that ball in the middle of the field because he couldn't get enough on it. And then when he threw across his body, and whether the receiver fell or not, that is not a mistake you make. If you're an all-pro quarterback in this league, those are the type of things that you absolutely cannot do. So, it's a work in progress for me with Jalen Hurts. I'll give him the leeway of the first game, but I don't want to see this anymore. Bill.
Well done, counselor.
Thank you.
Missanelli. He does. He has to stop. The turnovers have to stop. It's what killed him last season with the 20 turnovers. I'm with you on this. He does have to be a better decision maker. Some of those plays, you learn it in high school, man. So Hurts has to be better, but I'm feeling good just like you are. 1-0, and we can sit back and watch the game tonight. Let's get our picks in real quick. Who do you got tonight?
I don't have a pick on this game.
You know what?
I don't pick games where I don't have a pick. I just don't throw something out there.
I'm kind of with you. That's why I'm only going anytime touchdowns tonight. Because I don't know who's going to win this game.
I look at the line. The line tells me Jets. It's -3.5. It's coming down from 6. It went to 4, and now it's 3.5. For some reason, if I had to make a play on this game, if somebody's going to ask me to play, I'm taking the Jets, and I might even take them to win.
So I'm getting, on FanDuel, I'm at -4.5, the Niners.
Well, I got the ESPN here, and it says -3.5. I don't know what the line is. If it's 3.5, I kind of love the Jets.
At 4.5, then you'd really love the Jets.
I know. At 4.5, I don't like it. It's the line that gives me the indication of what can happen. 4.5 doesn't give me the indication as much as 3.5 does. It's weird. It's weird the way the line works for me.
And then Phillies tonight, -225.
Yeah, rebound game for the Phils. It'll be fine. I take them on the money line.
I'll be down there tonight.
Yeah, you're going to the ballpark. Got the in-laws down there. Let me ask you, who buys? Who buys? Is it Bill? You treat the in-laws? Yeah, you come back with a few beers and some sandwiches?
I would try, but my father-in-law has more of like the Tony Soprano.
Oh, no.
Like, when you get a family, you pay.
When Finn paid?
Yeah, you remember that?
Oh, so you're the father-in-law is going to.
So, but I'll try.
You're a successful guy. You sold your law practice for a couple $1 million. Crying out loud. Buy the in-laws.
He's probably going to be feeling bad for me after the abuse I took for 4 hours
today.
today.
Beer. Go to the thing and bring back beers.
We're going to supply the sandwiches for the pregame.
All right. Stay tuned for Tyrone and Ricky. Thanks, everybody, for listening today. We'll be back at you tomorrow. That's the Mike Missanelli Show. Take care. Bye-bye.